What test for the practice starts? Is that what they're talking about? Okay. Why is this? Okay. Hey, Denzel. Alright, I'm back. Wasn't too bad for quality time. That was pretty tight quality times, huh? Yeah.
The track temperature is falling. It's now 101 Fahrenheit.
Hey, I'll take 8th place, though. Yeah, this is great. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. And Todd. Poor Todd. He's gonna have to get past some of these slower guys, huh? Oh no. Somebody
That's the end
just
of the session.
beat my
P9.
time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start in second for these
All clear. Push now.
restarts. First is just not gonna work, I don't think.
Car outside. Clear on the outside.
Four.
Car on the outside. He's still there. Still there. Still there. Outside's clear.
Oof.
The track.
Car on
Okay,
the
I
high
can't do
side.
first.
He's still
Or
there.
second, I mean. Can't do second.
Keep your line. Still there.
Too conservative.
Outside's clear. It's car low. Clear inside. Car on the inside. Still there. Clear down low. Stay high. The low side's clear.
Oh, yeah.
The leader has just done a
No.
39.94. New fastest lap for Lambert. 26.37.
Why?
The pit exit's clear.
It does, yeah. That's odd. I'm 8th. I better double check that, huh?
Car outside. He's still there.
We still have
Still
some cars
there.
coming.
Hold your line. Clear outside. There's a car high. He's still there. You're clear up high. Car outside.
Alright, I think we have
Still
everybody.
there. Clear on the outside. Car high. Still there. He's still with you. Outside's clear. Stay low. You're clear on the outside. There's
Did you
car
get
high.
murdered by somebody else, or It's because you're
High
spun.
side's clear.
Oh. Ah. What was that? Yeah, it did seem a little
Look
slow.
out for the pit speed limit.
Ooh, fuel map's a good idea.
Retake.
Stay at height. You're clear down low.
Mm-hmm.
Oval racing. It's one of the most exciting forms of motor racing there is on the planet. Usually
Car high.
people hear ovals and Kansas in the same sentence. They think
Still
of
with you.
stock car racing. Well, not today. Today
He's
the
still with
speeds
you.
are ramped up for
Clear on the
about
outside.
300 miles
Right.
of IndyCar action. Hello and welcome one and all to RaceSpot TV and welcome to Kansas Speedway. I'm Ola Rempo. I've got Dylan Coyle beside me in the booth today and Hugo Louise behind the
Well,
cameras
my
for
first
this
year
1.5 mile speedway hosting
Car
round
inside.
3 of the 2021 Classic IndyCar
Still
Series
there.
season. Dylan, 200 laps around this facility.
Car
and
inside.
These cars capable of speeds regularly over
Inside's clear.
180 miles an hour around this place. This race here is sure to be a doozy.
Yeah,
Car on the outside.
and you know what? Hello, everybody.
You're clear
we
up
got
high.
2 ovals in a row, so that's going to be interesting. Whatever happens here is going to also come into play at Motegi in just 2 weeks' time. We take a look at the calendar, and there's a lot of ovals over the next few months, actually.
There certainly are. You got Twin Ring Motegi headed over to Japan for what is going to be the only other international race on the season. Then we kick back over to the Americas for the race number 5 at Watkins Glen. Then short track racing at Richmond Raceway. Usually the IndyCars go to Iowa. Well, not this season. They're going to Richmond. Then, of course, comes Michigan. Bound to be an exciting race.
Exit's
Sonoma,
clear.
pretty much
Push.
Chamber 1. Chicagoland Speedway in September, along with Mid-Ohio, Road America, and, of course, the famed Indy 500.
Car high, stay low. You're clear on the outside.
So there are quite a few ovals coming up yet, and I am glad to see that because IndyCars at ovals is a whole other spectacle here. So 300 miles, 200 laps getting set to win this one.
Just doing it.
The last time we raced here was in
Car on the outside.
2018. Henry Bennett won that one. Liam Quinn.
I think
He's
the only
still
time
there.
we're worried about the order is for
We
the.
were told that
He's still
this
with you.
is supposed to be back race and basically been seen in practice.
Car on the high side.
Hey, Grandma.
That's exactly what's going to be here for today. Now, of course, got the
Yep.
penalties as well. You got to
Stay low.
But you guys can't, or
your line.
they won't be able to hear you.
Keep your line.
Yeah, so I have
outside.
so my new headset has 2 channels, one for chat, one for game, and so you guys are set to the chat channel, and OBS is only broadcasting the game channel.
The top 5 cars here, Dylan.
Yeah, Ethan Egan, I mean, he's been very consistent throughout the first few races of the season. That's why he's
Yeah, exactly.
got a 21-point advantage.
Now, if you put it
so
in the
far.
chat,
You know what?
somebody will
That's,
hear it.
That's kind of the key for success here in this series. You have to be consistent. It's no
Stay low.
winning
Okay, so-
type scenarios. It's just consistency.
Still there.
Points. Lucas LaVille, Joshua Chin, 2 drivers
Still with
you
you.
expect to be closer to the
He's
very
still
top
there.
of the
You're clear
leaderboard
high.
at this point in the season, even though we're early on. I mean, it could be a little bit of a cause for concern, wouldn't it, Nolan?
P3.
No, they said one more, I thought.
He has, of course, had 2
Yeah.
major spills at both Phillip Island and
I thought they
Long
said
Beach,
one more.
So he desperately needs a good race coming here
Yeah, they
into
did say
today.
one
The
more.
rookie Troy Dolanshek sitting in 3rd, though, and he's looking set that he might want to run for that top spot. He is right up there with Lucas LaVille, one of the best, and Joshua Chin is just behind after his win, moving to 14 positions in the standings for where he started earlier today. So,
There's a car
well,
approaching.
let's
Stay
take
behind the
a
white
look
line.
at the
Fastest
get
lap
this race
for
underway.
Hoffman,
And we'll take you for a
25.93.
round, Kansas Speedway.
Well, if you keep a gap on the in the beginning of that run, you'll catch them with the draft, and you'll probably get a better draft run if you create that gap. The draft will suck you in faster.
We've got a battle going on then for the race lead Constantini looking to the high side. And then you've got yourself Matt Cook down low. So come past start-finish time. Who's going to have it at the line? That time by, it was Cook who had it. And he's going to get the run on that inside line. You've
Car
got
outside.
to be careful here. Running too wide, but that progressive banking does give you the option.
Outside's clear.
Goes early, Constantini.
Car on the high side.
What did we just see?
He's still there.
We saw Cook and Constantini both
He's still with you.
do exactly the thing we talked about.
Keep
there.
this line.
Both of them getting on the noisy
He's still there. Clear higher.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of running that
Car
same
outside.
gear set. Welcome to the Classic
P4.
IndyCar Series at Kansas.
Clear on the
this track
outside.
is rich with history in the Classic IndyCar Series, last visiting in 2018. Matt Cook was leading most of the race when a restart on cold tires would forever change on the late Butte restarts. The top three cars all spun out in the last few laps of the race that led to Henry Bennett winning one of the most notorious finishes in
Car on the high
history.
side.
Today we return to the track to bring back the
Keep
action
your line.
that will always come with this fast course. The lines will be
He's
very
still there.
different depending on the weather, but expect
Clear
to see
outside.
wide races. Michael's
Good luck.
throughout.
That's your quickest today. You're
Got
currently
disconnected.
1.35 off the pace. Your last lap time was at 27.28.
Yeah. Hopefully he can get back in time or he's going to miss his start. Turns 3 and 4 will be the best opportunity Doesn't have much
Uh,
time. for a challenging driver to make their move.
Stay high.
To see action here. Going down the front stretch, the
He's
drivers
still
will be
with you.
holding the bottom line to defend their inside.
He's still there. Inside's clear.
Pass below the solid white line as it is an illegal move. This has been a track tour brought to Oh, you by John. jeez. I hope you enjoy the race. Sorry.
That's the end of the session. 8th place.
An incredible
Yeah, Vesa
speedway then. We're getting set
hit his brakes.
200 more here.
Oh, was it Pauly?
Just finishing up down there on the speedway, and as we take things over to the official race session, let's take a run down here through the starting grid. Nate Michael starts on the pole, one of the newcomers coming into today, along with Andrew Aiken beside him, just 100th of a second behind in the second position. Another rookie, Rod Carpenter, is in third place with Mike Erlicka in fourth. Felipe Lambert is in fifth with Randy Shoemake in the sixth position. Ethan Hagan is in seventh. Joshua Chin, a driver who is so strong on ovals, is in eighth with Josh Baird and Jamie Wilson in ninth and 10th. Andrew Wood, Logan Simmons in 11th and 12th with Art McEwen in 13th. Paulie Partonen in 14th, Robert Groscher in the 15th position. Matt Molnar sits in 16th, Willie Schwarbauer is in 17th, with Jan Hoffman, Rob McBride is in 17th, and Schwarbauer is in 18th. Jan Hoffman's in 19th, with Marshall Stanley rounding out the top 20 here, Dylan.
Yeah, and of course you've got me stuck with Vesa.
P9, 200 laps.
You were the one that planned that. Lucas LaVille in 22nd. That is very far back, but he might make his way through the field.
Follow car
Fairly
number
easily.
20
There will
in
be
the outside
probably
lane.
Andrew Adair Saunders, Cody Luke, ran at the top 24. And then Hans Pickett, Don Day, Stefan Rossman, Liam Quinn, Todd Nosad, Johnny Garrett, your top 30, Nolan.
And that is going to do it here, a 30-car grid, and penalties have already been issued for where people need to start today, so they're going to be getting the center draw today. There are a few rookies coming into the race today. Got Rod Carpenter, Cody Luke,
good luck,
Don
everyone.
Day. Carpenter is way up there in the field. Luke and Day, not so much. They've got a lot of work to do for the tail end of the field, 26th and 24th respectively, but the field now starting to lap their way here around this circuit for what is going to be the one and only time for Virgo Green. Your final thoughts here, Dylan, as we enter the back straightaway.
Thanks, Lander.
I think
Hopefully I do
we're
well
going to
today.
see,
Break
some
my bad luck
calamity
streak.
happen today based off what we were seeing in practice.
Actually,
drivers are going
the
to
last
have to
one
be
was-
racing in the pack, which never leads to clean racing all throughout.
Entering turns
I
3 and 4
don't
on the
think we're
mile-and-a-half
missing the
speedway
whole
for the
front
final
row,
time today
but we
before
might be.
Go green flag racing for 300 miles, 200 laps. This race is no doubt going to be a good one. Now the inside
Green, let's
line
go, let's go.
starts to stack themselves up with the leaders,
Dang it.
and we
It's not good.
are ready to go. The pace
Why
car
did
pulls
that
up.
happen?
It is going to be in the hands here
Yeah, I know. I don't get it.
of Andrew Aker around
Who was
the outside, I believe.
Whoever was in
On the
pole did not
inside,
take
green
off
flag
after the
drops.
green flag
there.
We are underway.
dropped.
Still there. Outside's clear.
Yes, it was.
They launch towards turn number 1, and it looks like, despite that massive Constantina effect, we're underway.
Car on the low side. Still there. Hold your line.
P4.
And still there. Still there.
Felipe Lambert comes off of turn number 4. He
Still
will
there.
lead the opening lap here at Kansas Speedway, but Andrew Aiken is
still
hot
there.
on his heels, trying to run him down.
Low side's
215
clear.
miles an hour down the front straightaway, well over 300 kilometers of an hour, trying to blaze through this track. Pack racing is going to be the side.
No, it's start from pit.
That is going to be
P3 car outside.
the back of the field in a hurry down there on the apron.
Still there.
3 and 4, but still running strong up in front. They
Still
are
there.
starting to catch some lap traffic already of Johnny Garrett. Now,
Hold your
Garrett
line.
had one of those pit road starts, and he's got to
Still there.
really trying to work his way up there and make himself up here today. Matt
He's still with
Bernard
you.
comes down to pit road, so early struggles with the
He's still there.
29 car. No idea what would have happened there to Matt
clear on the
Bernard.
outside.
Might have had the wrong setup in there, though.
And I can definitely tell
P4.
you what happened at the start. Robert Groscher, a guy we expect to be one of the top drivers in the field. Unfortunately, he jumped the start, and he had to check up, making everybody else behind him check up. It was a bit of monkey see, monkey do, which led to a potential calamity at the start, but nothing happening there.
Still there.
Looking 3 wide for the race
Still
lead
with
down
you.
to turn number 3, and Randy Shoemaker is going to back
He's
out
still
that
there.
one. So Andrew Aiken on the top side, Lambert on the bottom.
Keep this
Trying
line.
to fight side by side for the race lead as we come to the close of lap
You're clear up
number 4.
high.
And look
Carlo.
who's going to get it at the line. It goes to Andrew Aiken.
And
with the
still
last lap
there.
by just 14 thousandths of a second.
He's still there.
Lambert's still trying to pull ahead though through the bottom side.
Still
That
there.
top line, if you can get the line right, you can get so much
Keep
of a
your
run
line.
off that corner. Now Shoemaker looking to the bottom side and trying to go through
Still
wide
there.
for the lead again.
P5.
Shoemaker's trying to find a way through.
Hold your line.
That is just not a smart move by
Still
Shoemaker,
there.
so thankfully he pulled out of it. We're
still
going
with
to
you.
see a lot of daring attempts today, especially
He's still
as we
there.
get closer to that 200 lap mark, as they're still
your line.
side by side, multiple rows back.
Keep your line.
And in a little bit, they're going to catch up to some lap
still there.
traffic in the form of Johnny Garrett, who will really
He's
want
still
to
there.
stay on the lead lap.
He's still with you.
2 by 2 by 2 by 2 for the first
Hold your
4
line.
rows here on the grid. Then it starts to
still
single
there.
file out with 9th place. 10th, 11th still side by side.
Still there. Clear on the
For most part,
inside.
everybody's kind of running in the single file train just behind.
It's Carlo.
Backwards of 21st, Pierce have already lost the
Still
mid
there.
end of the train. Everybody else kind of just running on their lonesome. So it really is
He's still
kind
there.
of this top 12 grouping here that's in this big train
Still
up
with
in
you.
the front here. The draft is going to be so
side's clear.
powerful over the course of the day, and that's going to be something we're going to have to really keep our eyes on here as it plays out and as the tires start to wear in as well. It is worth noting that while Andrew Aiken is not able to get the pass done around the outside line, he is forcing Lambert to absolutely destroy his tires.
Yeah, and
Car
when
outside.
you do run the inside line here, that's going to cost you
Still
a
there.
lot of time and a lot of tires. Maybe
Still
not
there.
time, but the tires will wear off as time goes
Still
on,
there.
which will lead to some lost time.
You're clear high.
So continuing to tick through this race here, the laps are already approaching lap number 10, approaching double digits, and we haven't even been in this race for more than 6 minutes.
We need a little
It's
more
been
wing, I
absolutely
think.
brutal so far. As these open races often go, the lap time is just 25.5 seconds right now. Those are probably going to grow close to about 30 seconds here by the time these tires really start to wear down. But look at how close these guys are still getting on the
inside.
exit of these corners.
Yeah, I mean, look at
And
how many
still
cars
there.
are in this
Clear
field
light.
as well, just pushing for it. There are so many drivers in this top pack. What, like 15 back?
Car high.
Oh,
3
gosh.
wide. You're in the middle.
It appears
Josh
that
tends
the
to get
guys
3
out
wide.
He's still
place
there.
Backing off.
right in the
Full
back,
round's
and then
clear
you got
now.
everybody else behind, but the other drivers behind are also starting
Car
to
on the
kind
high
of ease
side.
off here. They're not trying to really go for a whole lot of
Keep your
aggressive
line.
maneuvers. They're trying to just sort themselves out here. Maybe
still
see if
there.
they can run down
P8.
this lead train here. But look at this,
He's
3
still
wide
there.
for a brief moment, and one
car.
car really
He's
got
still
Baird
with ya.
on that one. It was Baird up the middle.
He's still there.
Yeah,
What's the
Josh
track
Baird
temp?
has
Anybody
had
got
a
it?
few scary moments in this race so
P9.
far. He was in the middle of the 3-wide sandwich,
Forgot
got
to
down
set
low,
up my
and,
crew chief
it
to
appears that he
do
didn't lose
voice
too much
commands,
time
so
from
I'm
there,
waiting.
but
I'm
at the exit of 2, it was just very dangerous. in terms of
relying on
speed
him.
difference for him.
Almost nothing between these drivers, and of course with stock cars you can get significantly closer than these guys are, and you can do the same in IndyCars. You don't want to do it in IndyCars though, because the slightest contact might send you out and through the fencing on the outside wall. We saw that a couple times of drivers slamming into the metal fencing there just on the outside, and that is definitely going to be something to watch out for in the event of a big accident, especially in these corners here. Now take a look at this one. I think this is one of the close calls we were mentioning earlier on. Look at that straight
Car high.
wall.
Race car's out.
Yep. That was insane.
What was that all about?
I mean, literally.
I saw a car blink and then.
Paper between his right side tires and the safer barrier. Oh no! We have big trouble!
Caution flag is out. Big crash on the front straightaway. And that all started, I do believe, when two cars made contact with Joshua Chin and Logan Simmons. Might have been Shoemaker as well on the bottom, as Josh Chin did make it out of that, but about 2-3 cars got sent around. Somehow, though, not a lot of action involved. Shoemaker got the worst of that one. First caution of the day, lap number 14.
Wow. I mean, as we're talking about close calls right there, it just seemed like, and we'll catch it in the replay in just a little bit, but it just seemed like Logan Simmons came up while it appears that Randy Shoemake was coming down. A little bit of dirty air played a factor, but I think it's just a matter of whenever you're in one lane and you're trying to get the turn signal to the other lane, you both kind of go into the same lane. Pit lane speed limit is
45 miles per hour.
Who was that on the outside there that just barely managed to scrape past Shoemaker? That was an absolutely legendary avoidance there from that car on the outside line. Joshua Chin.
Yeah, whoever's in.
Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
Oh my goodness, Robert Groscher.
I'm switching. I went in the pits. I'm gonna stick back in.
The outside line. He saw a gap and he went for it. It's a good thing he did, because a second later it closed and caught the driver behind him.
Yep. And here's the replay right here.
On board with Groscher, watch Shoemaker come down on Simmons there, but they make contact, and watch this gap. It's there, it's not. Oh boy.
How do you get through that? I mean, that's just pure luck right there. He has to have the car in front turn at the exact angle for him to get through the hole. I mean, that's unbelievable. I'm surprised that more drivers were not taken out with that incident.
Oh, you and me both. I mean,
I saw somebody blink in sideways from me, so
these guys had the awareness to make sure that that was not as bad as it was.
That's all I could see.
Single car spin there. And a couple drivers did come down to take the tires on that stop. Of course, these drivers do not have a tire set limit here, so they are allowed to take as many tires as they want.
Yep, and when you're allowed to take as many tires as you want, you usually want to take advantage of that, especially as we go throughout the field later in the day. If you see a few drivers going into the pits, you think, why not? I'm either going to stay out. I think we're going to see some risks being taken, because it's not necessarily the tires that are going to matter as much as that dirty air. Sometimes if you're worrying about track position, getting up into the top 5 on slightly used tires will make a greater difference.
My car was tight. I should have went with the 3/3
new tires.
Or my
Of course, you
original.
have the weight jacker, everything like that.
Yeah, but you get more. The reason why the car's tight when you take out, the more aero you take out, the tighter the car gets, because it doesn't have the rear aero to turn the car. So, like, if you did absolutely no aero, and then had the same downforce percentage as max aero with the same downforce percentage, you're gonna get, the car's gonna be a lot turnier. That's kind of why this car's got, my setups are usually pretty tight, because I try and take out as much aero as I possibly can without making it so it hits the wall when it's tight.
At the end of this lap.
Started today, having to serve an end of the line penalty from last year. This is his first start on the season, and wow. Managed to make up 18 already in just 16 laps.
Yeah, I was washing up quite a bit. I was being conservative too with my gas pedal, so I guess that was part of the problem. But I felt like the car was tight.
On how good these drivers are dealing with the dirty air in the draft. And by the way,
a lot of aero push.
On IndyCar restarts, it's just single file.
This means it should be a little bit tamer out of the line than it was at the initial start, but you never know. I mean, you guys do have these guys do have potential definitely for wheelsman. These cars have a lot of power underneath them that they got to try to wrangle.
Yeah, and when you have all of that power to try and wrangle, you know, it can lead to, especially on used tires.
Be ready, we're going green.
Extra wheel spin. We're also not going to see the bottom get used here. Remember, you can pass on the outside. that means that all of these drivers are going to hug the wall on these restarts to try and make sure that no one can pass them.
Keep an eye out for that.
Green, green, green. Outside's clear.
So this should definitely be quite the entertaining race here.
Car outside.
As we get set to go racing here once again.
Hold your line.
Kansas Speedway coming to the close. Caution number
Outside's
1.
clear. Feet forward, car outside. Clear on the outside.
From the number 6 car, Andrew Reagan was
Stay
left
low.
in the dust.
Hold your line.
Everybody was left in the dust on that restart. There's
He's still there.
huge car gaps from first place
Keep this
on
line.
back. I mean, look at Art McEwen.
Still
He's
there.
got miles of space in front and behind him.
Still there.
But Mike Garlicka is now
Still
in
there.
this battle with a bunch of cars in the midfield. Top of the midfield,
Still
I should
there.
say.
Keep your line.
There is side-by-side
That's crazy.
action further in the back. And you
Still
see
there.
the big side-by-side trade just off of the turn 4 there.
Yeah, high.
Rod Carpenter on the outside line is trying to fend off both Jan Hoffman and Josh Baird at the same time here. You've also got Marshall Stanley, Lucas LaVille,
Right, same
Luke
here.
Quinn, Cody Luke, and more in the mix here. So this is going to be a very intense fight here for some of these midfield spots. This is in the battle right now overall
V12.
for just 14th place.
I do not want to be Lucas LaVille in this situation because you're going to have a little bit more of a turning radius in these corners to deal with this dirty air. That's going to lead to your tires getting worn just a little bit more. And because of all of these cars right around you, it's just more dangerous. You don't want to be around all of this traffic when you could be in clean air. And he's trying immediately right now to get back to a point where it's comfortable enough for him.
So the
Race car is
will
out.
continue
We're under
to
caution.
move forward with Lucas LaVille up to where he started so far today. Still in the 19th position though, so Lucas LaVille a long way to go. And he did not have an end of the line. Oh, trouble! One car spinning around. It's Novasad, I believe. Way in the background. Sorry, no, it's Ron Carpenter that's lost the back end. And Carpenter will bring out caution number 2 on the day. That was definitely with contact, and he was right in front of Stefan Rossman at the time of contact was made.
Yeah, Lucas LaVille was the man that just passed him. And we'll catch in the replay, he just got really high as he gets back into the pits. Yeah, so this is coming in out of, I believe, turn 2. He gets really high, but it looks like he was just kind of walked into. It doesn't seem like that was too much of his fall. I want to see a different angle, maybe head on, just to kind of get a feel.
I'm going in if Josh Shedd goes in.
I don't know. What's your take on that, Nolan?
It can kind of go both ways. I mean, on the one hand, it is kind of up to the overtaking car to make it cleanly, and I think you have to put that more on the car behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still want to see it again, because how did he start moving down? I mean, that's my whole question. Was it him? Was it Rod Carpenter who came down on him, or was it just a combo of both, car trying to pass him? Inconclusive. All right, this is perfect. So Carpenter up high. Oh, it looks like it was almost a sandwich, and Carpenter was trying to come down the block. See, in that view, I mean, what do you do if you're a car in the middle of that sandwich? You can't do much except stay where you are, back out. I almost feel like that was more self-inflicted.
You really can't put the car behind him at fault either, because, I mean, if he slows up, he's going to get run over from behind as well. When you get to these cars and you're flying through these corners at 185, 190 miles an hour, there is no time to react. If you twitch the wheel to the right to avoid him, you're going to put yourself to the outside wall, but you can't turn it to the inside anymore because you're already turning about as much as the car will allow.
The only one with a good amount of space there was Rod Carpenter.
Which it probably will.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he just kind of came down across the nose. And again, I don't think he would have realized that he had the car just barely on the inside.
Okay.
Right.
How much did you do on rear wing, or just front wing?
For even a spotter to see if the car actually has the nose there, or if they don't.
Right.
And a lot of drivers, they don't tend to take the safe than sorry approach on this.
Yeah, no, and the attrition rate of this battle, I mean, it's already kind of going down. We had 30 cars start this race. So far, only 26 are on the lead lap. I think that it's going to continue to come down. How many cars do you think are going to be on the lead lap by the end of this race, Nolan? Let's just throw a number out there.
I'm going to go for 16.
I was going to go 15.
I was gonna say, I feel like we get a long green flag run. The guys up in front, when we had that 14-lap run at the start, they were already pulling away, and you had some cars that were already about a quarter of a track behind the race leaders at the time that first yellow came out when Randy Shoemake got
Yeah,
spun
too
around.
bad the bot.
Okay, so let's put it this way. If it's 16 or above, so if it's above 15.
Where am I?
You
6th.
win, and if it's below, I win.
I was up in
How
3rd
do you
for a
have
while,
15
but
and a half cars a lap
it was
down?
getting a little too
Okay.
crazy with me being
Here-
tight, so I backed
here's
off and
a
let some of
lesson
these guys.
in sports.
But obviously the pit stop really threw me back.
You want to explain the math to me?
Staying out helped
yes,
though.
because you do halves. You do halves. When it's above a half, that means it's the whole number above or high. It's basically saying 16
so-
or more or 15 or less, but it's easily
really?
above 15 and a half
you-
or below 15 and a half.
We're
Does that
going
make
green
sense?
next time, bye.
Oh.
I don't know
Yeah.
math. You're making my
I
head
got
hurt.
you.
I,
Yeah, 'cause you had to get a
wow.
new
I
wing.
watch cars. That's what I do.
Don't bet on a sports book then anytime soon.
I'm gonna have to bring in a calculator here to figure that out.
It's we need someone in the chat try and help explain this to Nolan. But we have that going on. If it's fine, we'll do it your way. If it's 16 or above, you win. If it's 15 or below,
Here we go again,
I'm not
guys.
gonna
Let's
try
hope
to
we can
make
keep this one
live,
green.
bets or anything.
Actually,
but
I want
thought
one
the
more
attrition
caution
race,
since
yes,
I'm
I think
kinda
we-
off
I don't know
cycle.
where we went. I think the attrition race rate
And you
of
guys
this
want one
race
more
is going
caution
to
for
be,
fuel saving?
fairly poor, to be honest with you, just because we've seen what happens when Indy cars in general go pack racing.
Okay, Josh, be
Usually
ready.
it doesn't
We're going
end
green.
up all that well. These cars are very difficult to handle. They've got a lot of horsepower, so
Right.
a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah,
a
it
lot
usually
of dirty
takes
air,
2 or
and if
3
we're going
cautions
3
to
wide
thin
like
the
that,
herd.
at this point in the race already, we're going to see even more down the stretch. We're only, an eighth of the way through.
That we are.
Green flag, we're racing.
Only 25 laps complete out of the 200-lap race, so we've already had 2 different cautions
Yeah,
tonight. Thankfully for single car
6th
spin,
place.
So we'll have to see if that trend will continue. Lambert, up and away.
Please
off
don't
the
chop
gas,
any
onto
noses
the gas,
off.
and we are back racing. 3rd place, caught napping there. Art McEwen under fire from Mike Gorlico already in the run down towards turn number 1.
That is a gigantic gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Wow. Talk about getting caught sleeping, and not even just caught sleeping, just caught almost in a coma there.
Oh, and one car falling way down the order. That's Rod Carpenter, who is still damaged from that crash. He's trying to let the field through on the front straightaway. He is so slow, though. We're talking
Car on the high
30
side.
miles an hour slower. Very dangerous situation.
He's still with you.
We'll get everybody through all right, though. Still side by side.
Still
with
there.
The 3rd here as Art McEwen is trying to get by.
He's still
Michael
with you.
Linder. There you can see Josh. That's
Keep
Rod
your line.
Carpenter out there in the 28 car on the racetrack. And
He's still there.
Jeez, he is losing so much time. He's got
Yeah.
Clear
destroyed
outside.
rear wing.
So he actually came out of the pits right as they went green. So even with that destroyed front wing, he wasn't up to speed yet. Now this is him up to speed. It is still much slower than the rest of the competition here. So he's going to have to be very careful to not get involved in any mess-ups.
Not to mention with the damaged rear wing, the rear end stability on that car is going to be basically shot into the ground. So he's going to have to really try to get that car settled and maybe see if he can maybe just run some laps to see if it comes back to him. On board with Josh Baird, watching the battle up in front of McEwen, trying to fight
Still
on
there.
chin, trying to secure a passer on Mike Gorlica.
Still
McEwen's
there.
going to slot himself right in front of Josh
Still
Baird,
there.
who's now going to go to his inside.
Still
Oh, wow,
there.
you're watching this battle. I'm watching the one happening just
Keep this line.
behind for a spot in the
He's
top
still there.
10. This is some great racing. It's just how long
Still
can
there.
they keep this up? Oh, man. That
Keep
it
your
always
line.
feels so uncomfortable when they all slot back
He's
into
still there.
position coming out of turn 4.
He's still there.
The way these cars turn, they just turn so
Still
quick
with
that when
you.
they come up the corner, you don't realize how fast they turn
He's
until
still
they're
with
off the corner. And there is Andrew
Keep
Aiken.
your line.
Slots
P6.
himself right in front of Marshall
Still
Stanley.
there.
And now they're single filed out in this train here. Now,
You're
this
clear on
is
the
train
outside.
From 9th all the way back to about 15th, 16th position here. And you got guys up in front trying to do battle as well, including your race leaders who are trying to go side by side.
Yep, that's what happens when the draft is involved here. Philippe Lambert and Jamie Wilson, 2 drivers that are trying to fight for the lead of this race on the outside. It's
P5.
Jamie Wilson. He does not have the draft, doesn't have any dirty air, though, to worry about, but now he's going to slot back in behind. You think he might get a move done by the time we're here at the finish line next
Race
lap.
car's out. We're under caution.
Now here's the problem. The
There you
longer
go.
side by side, the more Joshua Chin, that Chimera machine just behind, is starting to reel him in as
Oh, man, he
Wilson and Lambert.
Oh!
Oh, look out! One car sliding down, way in the background, slams the inside wall. Matt Molnar is totaled that Delara IRO 5. I think that was a self-inflicted error.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. There was nobody around him.
Matt Molnar's car is toast. He will not be finishing this race. That
Oh,
will likely
no.
spell the end of his
Art
day.
McEwen
Caution
just
number
locked
3
his brakes
on
and
lap
smashed the
number
wall.
3, and yeah, oh, it was a little bit of a twitch, and then the car
No,
just
Art
came
Mc,
around
no,
on
Art
him.
McEwen is though.
And it's
He might have
unfortunate
taken
because
somebody
once
with
you
him.
get into that inside wall as well, that
Oh,
means...
hello, we got a crash under caution here.
No,
Art McEwen just
I watched
spun
him
back.
Oh
hit
my
the brakes
goodness.
right behind me and
Oh
lock it in,
my
turn it
goodness.
right
I'll
into the
listen
wall.
To hear what anyone's saying on the radio.
So far, all's quiet, and I think
Yep.
that's good. I don't think McEwen will really want to do anything about that.
Watch your
but
speed.
McEwen, he has no front wing anymore, so
Oh my
McEwen has just
goodness.
destroyed his car. That's an embarrassing mistake there. Take a look at this. Oh, he just
Shifted.
came around into braking.
Honestly, I think it was him trying
Box
to
in,
shift
5,
to a lower gear,
4,
and the car
3,
just caught traction. If
2,
we could get an
1.
onboard sound,
now.
that would give us an answer.
The field is in pit road, or some portion of it at least, including, I believe, your race leader coming down to the lane. No, Lambert has continued to stay out through all of this. Now here's on board with McEwen. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either. I have no idea what happened to him right there.
I think the field was kind of checking up for the pace car right where he was, so I think he just got caught off guard by how fast some people were checking up, so he just braked a bit too much and twitched the wheel at the same time. Of course, if you slam the brakes while you're turning, well, you know what's going to happen then.
So I'm trying to re-watch it from his view again and see the speed as well. And now I've got the view from his cockpit. We'll see.
Quite a few, because I was in 5th, and now I'm going to be probably 10th.
You know what? No shifting in gear. He
1,
was
2,
already
3,
down
4,
speed,
5,
and then he
6,
just
7,
freaked out
8, 9,
and
10,
tried to go on the
11,
brakes,
12,
and
13,
that
14.
happened.
Yeah, so 9 people stayed out.
I have no idea how that would happen. We'll catch the replay here. This is where he slows
That'd
down.
be interesting.
And
as
He's
well.
checking up for the pace car. Yeah, right there. They started to slow up, and
Right.
he just panic braked.
wow. Nothing else to it.
That is not the way you want to end your day. McEwen does have a new
Oh, there
front
was
wing
somebody
on
a
that
lap
car,
down
but he
up
is still
there,
sitting
so
in
there's
pit
actually
road
8
here,
people
so
that
he
stayed
is
out.
going to lose a lap. So that 40 car has got a lot of work ahead of him now if he wants to try to work himself up. He was running up there in the top 10 before that incident.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
he's not gonna
He
last
was,
very long.
wasn't he the one with the bad restart as well?
I think it was.
Wow. Well, sometimes things just spiral out of control.
So Lambert still leads the train. Andrew
That's
Aiken is
probably
in
true.
second. Aiken fourth. Groscher fourth, excuse me. Bolilia in 5th position. He has also worked his way up several spots. Started 21st. He's now up into the top 5. Paulie Parton is in the 6th position. Schwarbauer is 7th. Novosad 8th. Wood 9th. Andrew Adair Saunders in 10th. Then, of course, you got Joshua Chin in the 11th. Jimmy Wilson in 12th. Josh Barrett 13th. Michael Luck on 14th. Jen Hoffman 15th. Nate Michael in 16th.
He's got a
Liam
good
Quinn,
quality set.
17th.
His
Johnny Garrett
race
18th.
sets are
All right,
Simmons
Josh,
in
get
19th.
ready. Race will
Stanley
resume at the end
20th.
of this
Slow
lap.
Lambert
struggle.
21st. Cody Luke, one of the rookies coming in today.
Oh yeah, he did have a
Second.
good
Stephen Ross in the 23rd.
Indy
Don
quali
May,
or
one of
Indy
the other
setup.
rookies in 24th.
right.
Hans Pickenen and Hans Pickenen, the last driver on the lead lap in 25th, with Art McEwen, Rod Carpenter, both laps down, 1 and 4 respectively.
Right.
Matt Molnar, Randy Shoemake
Yeah.
are both out of the race, and Niall McBride did not start the race.
Yep.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
I mean, that number is just going to continue creeping down as well of drivers who are even in this race. Out of drivers who are still going to be
we just gotta do better on the road courses, I think. And you know, we're only third race in the season, so we got plenty of time to catch up.
Who is not on the lead lap? There's now 2. Rod Carpenter 4 laps down. He just came out of the pits slowly. I have no idea what's going on with him. And Art McEwen, obviously, who is now 1 lap down, could potentially get back on the lead lap if he gets lucky with a wave around of some sort.
If it starts cooling down a bit, I'm gonna take an opportunity to remove that wing change.
Will be starting out there in the first position. He's got one of the AeroX cars just behind. It will likely be trying to make a run on him here for this restart, assuming he can get a good launch.
Oh wow, I lost everybody behind me.
Restarts here. Pace cars off, and Lambert off immediately, not wasting any time. And it is another big gap from Andrew Aiken. But the thing is, we've now seen it's only a matter of time for us going to get reeled back in.
All right.
See all the cars going single file. There's 2, 3 car groups that are very close. Some are already side by side. It just doesn't happen with the leaders until we get a little bit farther down, or further down, I should say, in this green flag run.
It has suddenly gotten very dim over the track as a layer of clouds has descended over the facility just up above the track there. So that is likely going to be cooling down the track quite significantly here. That could play into big here as to how this race could play out. Take a look here at the battle for 8th place. Ton Novosad and Andrew Wood.
I think my 6 gears too short.
Number 2 this time by. And just behind, you've got Joshua Chin and Andrew Derasanders there trying to catch up to this battle here as well.
Yep, and Novosad, look at how many positions he's gained so far. 19. That's extremely impressive.
Yep.
Novosad lifted out of the throttle for just the smallest of seconds there down the front straightaway. Not sure what that was all about, but just behind, you see the battle for 9th and 10th starting to pick on up. This is Andrew Derasanders here in the 11th position, trying to run down Joshua Chin in 10th. Now, Chin needs another good day here today. He had a good one at Long Beach just last week, but you never know what could happen here. He really needs a good race if he wants to get himself back in the title contention with 21 points separated first and second right now in the points. Lambert has also been caught here by Andrew Aiken, and they're now side by side for the lead.
My goodness, these clouds have rolled in and made this track almost needing some lights to light everything up right now, but they are side by side. Again, Lambert has the advantage. I think that when you're running single file, taking the low line is the better option. But look who is in 3rd and in this battle. It's Ethan Agan.
Points leader Ethan Agan, and Agan is one of the drivers who we did not expect really to be up in front of the point standings. Usually it's LaVille, Chin, and Groscher, but Ethan Agan has really come out swinging this year. He won the opener at Phillip Island, one of 2 international races, and then he of course had a pretty decent run at Long Beach as well. But he finished on the podium there. So Ethan Agan, he might be getting sent here for his 2nd win on the season here, and 3rd podium, which would be absolutely legendary and would definitely help Ethan Agan to retain the points lead coming into round number 4 at Twin Rig Motegi.
You know what? And he has the benefit of being able to pick whichever line is faster at any given moment. He's going to use the full width of the track. In the turns, he's going to go down low to be with Lambert, and in the front stretch and the back stretch, well, look where he's going to be. Back up top, back down low. The only problem we have to worry about here is how much will Derby affect him. It doesn't seem like it's affecting him too much.
Yeah.
He's actually going to keep to the top line here and follow Andrew Aiken. I think trying to get a better run off of the corner here. He's also got Robert Groscher, another Vortex Sim Racing driver, just behind. So now Vortex Sim Racing drivers are both up here in this battle for the race lead. And Groscher, who's up 11 spots, might be looking to help out his teammate there. And that means putting himself between the other 2 drivers that he's trying to battle with. So this is going to get hairy here in a minute.
Yep, and you just get almost flashbacks at that 4-car crash in 2018, don't you, Nolan?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So Lambert versus Aiken, Groscher versus Aiken. Who will be able to come out on top of this one? Andrew Aiken, Ethan Aiken run into the same grouping here. Robert Groscher and Felipe Lambert, the teammates, going to be going at it as well. Ethan Aiken bails out, going to go back in single file.
Got with a little bit of aero push behind Jamie.
Tires by battling on the inside line there. They're starting to fight as well for 5th and 6th, just behind these guys with Andrew Wood and Paulie Partonen just side by side behind with Willis Schwarber and Chin right behind them as well. So the battles are starting to pick on up here once again inside the top 10. Now the question is, do we keep it green enough that we can see what these battles will, how they will play out?
I hope you didn't jinx anything. These battles are going to get even closer as we go down in a green flag run. Could you imagine if the restarts were happening 2 apiece?
Oh boy. Well, that's what they do in NASCAR. Of course, IndyCars don't do that, I believe, for safety reasons.
Hold your line.
It's understandable to see why.
High side's
a
clear.
little bit chaotic.
Still racing for the race lead here, and this is going to be the trend
Car
here
high.
For these battles here. All the
Clear
way
on the
to get
outside.
that first round of green flag pit stops, assuming we make it out long enough that we can go for green flag pit stops. That battle for 6, though, is getting a heck of a lot closer here. They almost wrecked off turn number 4, and now they're dicing for positions here as they enter turn 1 once again for the 48th time today.
Take a look at Willie Schwalbauer. He is the second in the back of this pack. He is looking very aggressive, almost forced it 3 wide just a lap ago. We'll see if he tries to force anything here. Oh, there was almost some contact in the 2 in front of this battle.
Now with side-by-side action here, you can take a look at the battle for the race lead down low, bottom right of your screens, and then of course you got the top, this main battle here for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th raging center stage here. Goodness gracious, this is absolutely incredible. The sights we're seeing here at the 3rd round of the 2021 Classic IndyCar Series season here at Cape Spear. The first of many over races. Big bobble there for Paulie Partonen. Sees him lose a lot of precious ground to Todd Novosaw just behind, who then gets pinched up towards the wall for turn 1.
It's almost like you're in a spot where it's so hard to pass on these tracks because there's no real groove that you prefer over the other. Yeah, you can go down low, and that might save you, or it might save you time in the corner, but it's going to cost you in terms of tire life. But on the outside, you get the run. So it's not necessarily the worst idea to go on the outside. But when you've got 2 cars in front of you acting like a wall, as Groscher and Egan have right here, and Vessel will have in a moment, I mean, that's what can you do? There's nothing.
So now the battle for 6th is single file down, leaving just this battle for the lead here to rage on between Lambert and Aiken. Now it is worth noting as well that Vessel has also worked his way up into the thick of things here in that 96 car, starting to gain some ground. He had a bit of a bad run in qualifying, qualified 21st on the day, but now he's up to the top 5 and he's now threatening for these top spots as well as the battle rages on.
And with this battle raging on, you only have to think about where we might see, if we do get this long run here, if we might see some green flag pit stops. Now, usually it is around 57 or so laps of a full tank, but that can change based on dirty air, getting in the draft, all of that. So, I mean, what, we came back to green around lap 35. We might see, if it goes this far, we might see some pit stops happening around lap 90, if we get there.
No, not for Lambert. Lambert's going to have to come down much sooner than that, because remember,
Track's getting hotter.
has not been, oh, big!
Feel it.
Up there for Andrew Aiken, nearly wipes out the entire top 5, and that splits up the battle for the race lead here in a big way. Andrew Aiken loses out on that battle here. That is really going to close up here. Battle 6, 7, 8 behind.
Oh, big wreck, big wreck.
Car on the outside.
Race car's out, we're under caution.
They go 2, almost 3 wide to get around him, but as I was saying, Felipe Lambert has not pitted at all today yet, so he's got significant less fuel. Oh, contact, Chin's in the wall!
Oh, boy.
In the wall, 1 up and over, Chin flipping wildly down.
Yeah, somebody, it looked like somebody on our team died.
Upside down towards the inside wall, that was Andrew Aiken. Chin still barrel rolling all the way down. Caution is out for the 3rd time today, a quarter of the way into the race.
I've got to say, that was an 11 out of 10 barrel roll session from Joshua Chin. Chin says on the radio, anyway, he's upset. I don't think he's happy with what happened there.
I don't blame him. I don't think a lot of people would be very happy about what happened there. Take a look at the replay here. Andrew Aiken just comes across him and puts Chin into the wall, and that creates an almighty wreck on the back straightaway, and Joshua Chin went for the ride of his life.
That is so cool.
Tumbling side over side down the backstretch.
I gotta say, that is so cool. Watch this end. I know
Sticks
not
the
to make
landing.
not to make light of that, but it's nice that we don't have to worry about any driver safety in sim racing. You know, unless you're using. Could you imagine on a motion rig?
Well, it has happened. I think we got a couple people in this league that do run virtual rigs. We do know that people run virtual reality as well. And as someone that's gone flipping in VR, it's not the most pleasant.
If you got a 0x, you'll be fine.
If
you can see your side pods, that'll tell you if you have damage too, if they look crinkled.
When I'm in.
Take another look at this. This is a wide shot here. This will show a bit more of the broader angle. There you see Andrew Aiken, who got flipped upside down towards the inside wall as well. Went for his own little slide. He body slammed the inside wall with the gearbox. And wow, Shin just losing count of how many times he flipped over that car. Well, that is going to see one of the guys who is a favorite to win on the ovals here. He is going to be out of the fight here very early on. Joshua Chin will not be able to come back out after that one.
Uncontrollable, not uncontrollable.
Yep, no way. I mean,
if you're within 107.
Will be able to come back from that. That was a massive incident, and I think that's an example of the jinx, the broadcaster's curse, because we were talking about fuel in a green flag run, but that was just, I mean, that's just a big pile of junk.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, welcome here to round number 3 of the Classic IndyCar Series here at Kansas Speedway for this 200 lap event. We're about 57 laps in, caution number 3 on the day. Now, if you have missed the first 50 or so laps of this race, do not fear, because it will be rebroadcasted in its entirety on ESTV just next week Sunday, I believe at about 2
that hurt me for fantasy
Eastern
points.
Standard Time. Might be 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's one of those two. Andrew Wood has spun on the apron in turn 1.
Yeah, he spun coming out of the pits.
I think it might have just gotten too much of a bootful on the exit of the throttle. You can see he was stopped on the inside there, just in turn 1.
What is happening to drivers just spinning under green, or under yellow, I should say? He comes out, gets onto the apron a little bit where it's kind of banked, and then it looks like he just wanted to get onto the throttle a little bit too much, had some of the field coming directly to him, wanted to stay on that lead lap, which I don't
no lucky
still
dogs.
don't get why he had to rush there.
If you're a lap down, the first person a lap down gets their lap back.
Decided to give Andrew Wood his lap back. I thought for a moment that would trap him a lap down. Usually it does.
Yeah,
so
but there's none of that here.
Merciful there to Andrew Wood.
It reminds me of when Lightning McQueen, you know, back in the 2006 Piston Cup, was able to stay on the lead lap out of the pits. You remember that?
Well, admittedly, he
especially with the level of competition.
Get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
He also has had instances where he did go into the grass. And to turn left, you have to turn right. You know what I mean?
It doesn't work in an IndyCar. I've tried. It don't work. It don't work, my friend.
I think
Trust
it does.
me. I have tried. I got bored one day. I tried to take an IndyCar around a rallycross track. It don't work.
Yeah, right.
My goodness. Okay, so how many cars are still on the lead lap? It looks like 23.
I'm still winning.
Yes, but the odds are not in your favor. Look at it this way. 7 cars already.
That's when Caleb
on the lead lap. And we're only, what, just a little bit over half or a quarter of the way into this race?
Because Caleb stopped and didn't really leave enough gap for Chin to go around the outside, so Chin hit him.
Well, we know that's not going to be
Okay, Josh, are you ready? We're going green.
That bad.
Okay.
This is true. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but, you know, you just need some drivers to say ka-chow and get on with it. Sorry, I'll stop.
Well, we'll hopefully here we don't start making rallycross courses on the infield, because like I said, it don't work. I've tried it. Turning
green
right
flag,
to go left
outside's clear.
Doesn't work. You either turn even more left, or you turn way too much right and find yourself with a face full of catch fencing.
My girl is struggling on these restarts. I think he's starting in second.
Green flag as Philippe Lambert did come down a bit last time by. He's off and away. Willis Schwarbauer will be trying to run him down. Not as good of a start as Lambert's been getting. Look at how small the gap is in comparison to how Lambert starts a bit.
Yeah, way smaller. I think that's all due to Willie Schwarbauer taking a very nice look at when Robert Brosher took off and immediately followed him through there. We already have 2 abreast.
And that is the battle for 7th place. Johnny Garrett getting
There's a
past
car inside.
Mike Erlicka there. And you can see just behind
Keep your
Marshall
line.
Stanley is trying to get
Looks like
past
our
Cam
road
Hoffman.
expert's in
That's
second
the
place
battle
right now.
Still there.
just up
You're
the
clear
road
on the
from
inside.
them. They're also side
Carlo.
by side for 3rd and 4th here. Partonen and Wilson
He's still there.
going at it out there on the racetrack with
He's
Josh
still with you.
Baird
Clear
trying to
inside.
get
I
a
guess
free
so.
spot as well.
Just
P4.
a little bit of a look at temperatures. The track temperature was at 97, just 97 degrees Fahrenheit, I should say. Just
25.9
as
for
we
us.
saw the
Yeah.
cloud coverage come into play. It's now at 93 degrees, so it's definitely cooling on track. Not necessarily an ambient
That's
temperature,
draft,
which is
so.
74 degrees Fahrenheit.
Draft is 1 second
one
here.
car way down on the apron there.
That's an Andrew Wood.
Andrew Wood who had a
Yeah.
big moment. Check that out. He just came out of the pit road. So wait, he came down the pit road for a second time there. So
And
that's
he's going to
interesting there
third.
from Wood.
Bet you he's going to third right here. Nope, he's just getting up to speed. Lost that bet.
That's an interesting one there for Andrew Wood, who is now well down the timing orders. 18 seconds in the pit box that last time by for him. No idea. Oh, whoa!
And a disappearing act. A little bit of Houdini happening there.
And that got a bit close for comfort there in the back. I thought we were about to have caution number 4 with how fast those cars were darting out of lane.
Oh my goodness, we are seeing some ridiculous action here. Philippe Lambert is watching as a car in front of him is disappearing in front of our very eyes. That's Nate Michael.
And Nate Michael, I believe one of the rookies coming into today.
Yeah, he's got side pod damage. And wing damage.
Partonen is into the grass in turn 3 as well from the 9th
boy.
position. He's trying to hang on to it as
Oh,
well. This is about to
no,
come
no.
wreck here. Did they just crash? I can't tell Michael.
They almost did. They almost did. Philippe Lambert had to come way out of the throttle. I mean, they were as close as you can possibly get.
And Paulie Parton, as you can see there, is down to pit road this next time by. Not sure what happened there to Parton. And he started losing a lot of ground, though, as soon as he lost the battle here from 3rd position. He was up there trying to fight it out here with Robert Grosh, but he just fell all the way back, and now he's in pit road, so don't know what happened to him. Liam Quinn in the 44 car. We're riding on board with him right now as he is, I believe, looking on board with a battle that's just up the road from him. And that is about
Pass
the
on the
watching there.
outside.
Felipe
Seems like
Lambert,
car's still
Vesa,
tight.
Aguila Olilia, and Ethan Agan all running into group
P4.
there. It looks as though Parton is going to come back out of pit road down on the bottom of 1 and 2. Here you see him just passing through there as the field darts their way by. A lot of drivers seem to be having trouble with
Carlo,
pit
stay
road here.
high.
I'm still not sure what these guys are doing.
Still
coming out
there.
But I noticed that Parton now has rear wing
Still
damage
there.
that he did not have, I don't believe, prior
Hold
to
your
that
line.
restart. So I'm not sure what is going on
He's
here
still
with
there.
Parton.
Just to let you know, Nate Michael is
still with
now
you.
in the pits, so I wonder if this was because
Still
of
there.
any damage or he's just
He's still there.
dealing with the internet issues.
He's still there.
I think it's going to be the connection
He's still
issues
there.
that he's
P5.
having to deal with because it is
He's still there.
at the moment looking very good for him as to whether he'll be
He's
able to
still
start
there.
the race. And yep, he has just left
Keep
the
your line.
facility. So Nate Michael out of the race.
Keep
becomes
your
our
line.
next retiree. They're still
He's still
battling
there.
here big time. This is now the battle for the
Still
final
there.
podium position in third. Third place all the way back
He's
to
still with
9th,
you.
fighting for it.
20
Still there.
cars now on the lead lap, so it's falling
still
rapidly
there.
at this moment. Mike Erlicka, look at this
Clear
lead
low.
he has, which way to go, because he is
Carlo,
basically
stay
in
high.
the middle of a four-way
Still
battle
there.
here with cars behind him for these top
still there.
spots. I mean, again, you can't take a 3 wide
Still
in
there.
the corner. There is nowhere to go, but
He's still
you just
there.
have to worry about them getting a little bit tight because
Keep
of
your
dirty
line.
air.
Hold your line. He's still with you. Clear low.
And they're going to get closer and closer every lap that passes on by. I mean, they don't, until it's at the point where they can't get much closer, and then they're likely going to take each other out. That's how a lot of the battles have gone so far today. Johnny Garrett still working the inside lane. He's now going to get past Jamie.
Look at that dirty
Wilson.
air. Look at that dirty air.
Oh, no! Michael Erlicka nearly wiping out at the outside wall.
My goodness. He got out of the throttle just enough not to
Car
get
high,
any
stay low.
repercussions
You're clear on the
from
outside.
that wall. But will we see 3 wide just in front of him? I mean, you can't write this stuff up right now. Josh Baird, he was thinking about going underneath Johnny Garrett to make it 3 wide. It was smart to go against it. I mean, have we seen any 3 wide on the front stretch or in the corners yet? I don't think so. I think once the first driver does that, it'll be day done.
Car on the high
we
side.
saw a little bit of it earlier.
Clear high. Car on the
one,
outside.
but Josh Baird was the smart driver there and ended up
Still
backing
there.
out
Too tight.
immediately after they went 3 wide.
Still there.
So it's happened
B6.
once. You had someone that had some sense.
Still
that he
there.
decided not to
Outside
go for
clear.
3 wide. I don't think it works. It just does not work here in the
Stay low.
corners at Kansas Speedway. The track is just too narrow.
And
to
still there.
Realistically,
Clear on the
be able to make
outside.
that work. So all this battle here as well, it is causing them to lose time up to the top 2 in front between Willie Schwarbauer and Robert Grosjean. And right now, Schwarbauer is more just drafting off of Grosjean. He's not trying to go for pass or anything like that. He's just back there at the moment saving fuel for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And when, you know, you're saving fuel for a good run, it's not necessarily a bad idea, because when you are saving fuel and there are fewer drivers in the race, you know, it has a better chance of going green for a good amount of time. So not necessarily the worst idea in the world.
No, absolutely not. In fact, it can honestly be a bit of a race saver if you manage to play that strategy out right. So at the moment, you got the top 2 running together. You got 3rd on back to the 9th position, all running in the train. You
on the
also
low
have
side.
10th on back to 15th. That's running
He's
in the
still
train.
there.
And everybody else back from there is kind of running all on their
Still
low
there.
sims. So those are the battles that you got kind of around the track
still with
at
you.
the moment.
Low
So
side's
from
clear.
1st to 15th are all in their own separate little groupings, and watch to see how these are going to play on now. Take a look at this battle here on the front straightaway. This is the 3rd train line we haven't really talked about a lot yet since that restart, but right here, this is where the action's at the moment here, Dylan.
Yep, and you know what? I'm very thankful that these drivers are just taking in
P5.
all this action and providing them with some good on-air time. I think it's going to continue as long as they stay clean and fair, hard racing. Again, they spread
On the
out once
outside.
they get onto the front stretch. Or
He's
I
still
should
with
say
you.
the front curve, if you will, the D-shaped
Hold your
oval
line.
that Kansas is.
He's still there. Keep this line.
So close with
He's still
Lambert
there.
in this
6th
and this
place.
one as well. You got Liam Quinn on the outside
Still there.
of him. Behind, you got Ethan Hagen, Andrew Saunders,
Keep your
Logan
line.
Simmons, and the 96 car of Vesta.
He's still with
so
you.
those are the 6 cars here that are running in
He's
this
still
little
there.
trade here, and they are still looking to battle
Still there.
extremely hard for these positions here. Lambert still doing a great
still
job
there.
on defense in this train, trying to keep Liam
He's
Quinn
still with
behind,
you.
but Liam Quinn is definitely wanting to
Still
take
there.
that lead around the outside lane of the train.
P7.
It looks like he might
And
get it.
still there.
Done,
Car
not
outside.
Yep, not quite
Hold your
at
line.
all. And as this battle still rages
High side's
on,
clear.
we have
Car on the high
Ethan
side.
Hagen, our points leader.
Still there.
As we immediately get to, he is currently sitting
He's still there.
in 12th place as he's watching
your
the
line.
battle between Liam Quinn, Philippe Lambert, and
Keep this
two
line.
drivers who are currently sitting behind him. So there's
still
battles
there.
all over the track right now.
He's still there.
P8.
He's still with you. He's still there.
The battle for 10th continues.
Still
Lambert
there.
Still trying to fend off Quinn around the outside lane. This is
Hold
not
your
going
line.
to be an easy task, though. It is important to
Keep
note
your
as well
line.
that this kind of racing here, it's not over, because
Still
even
there.
after the 200 laps tonight, we're going to be
Car
seeing
outside.
even more of it in about 2 weeks when we head
He's
around
still
to
there.
Twin Ring Motegi as well. So we're
Still
going to be
there.
seeing 2 races like this back to back. And
He's still
that
with you.
type of action, that is exactly why I love series like
Still
this.
there. Clear on the outside.
Yep, I agree with you. I don't
Finally,
think there's
sheesh.
a better form of racing than open wheel oval racing in the world. I mean, watching the Indianapolis
make that
500
mistake
is an
again.
experience like no other, and it just does not give a full floor-to-floor action. It's great.
P9.
The top train is kind of single filed out a little bit here, so we're going to keep our eyes on this fight here as Quinn and Lambert continue to duke it out. You saw Ethan Hagen last time by, led off down the back straightaway and fell all the way to the tail end of this train. So I think Ethan Hagen might be in fuel conservation mode here at this point in time, trying to maybe conserve a little bit more for the longer run, as it seems like now we're starting to set ourselves up for that.
Yep, I agree with you there. I still think that we're not done with some of the incidents. It's just going to continue at a slower rate, but I mean, when you have all these cars going 215 miles per hour this close together, we're bound to have one little slip up.
And one little slip up is all you need, and you won't see it coming either. I mean, look at how fast we've seen some of the cars get sent around here before in this race. I mean, half the time, you're all of a sudden
Stay low.
there, and
Clear
about
outside.
a quarter second later, you're going to be backwards starts, and you're going to have no idea what happened at all. All you know is your day is pretty much over.
Yep, and when your day's over, you know, that's not really a fun way to put it. Joshua Chin watching the race right now. Watching the race right now.
He's still there.
My goodness.
P8.
W's and R's were never
Clear
my
inside.
strong suit. But he's watching it right now in the chat. He just put a, you know, a shrug. What is he supposed to do?
And it's so unfortunate for Josh Chin as well. He was having such a good run. He needed a good day as well to kind of put himself up further in the standings towards the points lead. He had not the best of days.
The danger zone.
That saw him out of the race in race 1. Moved up 14 positions though with his victory at Long Beach. No dice for him here in Kansas. He'll have to have another go at it next week at Twin River Motegi. They're starting to pick it up as well in the second train here as we look up front to Jan Hoffman and Johnny Garrett starting to duke it out on the track with Lucas Laville and Marshall Stanley waiting in the
Race
wings.
car's out.
Jamie
Yes.
Wilson, Josh Baird, and Mike Verlick
There we
kind
go.
of falling back from this train here. The battle for
Yeah, I
third.
only had 3
So
gallons
they're kind
left
of just
as well.
hanging back now, and I think waiting for something to happen up front.
We are 14 laps away from the halfway point. Caution. Oh no. Yeah, that's the
that's
20.
Hagen.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
-2.
Oh my goodness. The points leader is done.
Okay.
He had been dropping back, and I think that was one of those. Remember, I was just talking
did
about
wing.
how you're going to be
So I'm not
fine
getting.
1
I
minute
need
and
to
not
get to the
next.
bottom there.
You just lost
I
it.
can't
Look at
pass
this.
anybody the inside right now. The
Just
car's way too
overcorrected.
tight for that.
Oh, that is a hard hit into the outside wall.
Yep, and there's not much you can
Yeah.
do about that. He is done for the day, and for a driver like Joshua Chin, who still wants to be fighting for this championship, that's something that, well, obviously he wants to beat him on track, but, I mean, it's not going to put a frown to his face.
Now, this is big.
What's your speed limit in the pits?
It's a bit early to be talking about it, but it is still big, because that is your points leader out of the race. So his 21 gap is going to be evaporated here. The closest driver back is Lucas Laville. Right now,
Box in a 5.
well, he's finding himself up in the 6th
4,
position. He's in
3,
prime position here to take over
2,
the points
1.
lead.
Box
coming out
now.
today. Troy Dolenchak would be right behind him, but Dolenchak not making an appearance today at the Oval.
Chin's car does not look good from my view.
Yeah, and that's something that, you know, you're just surprised with, but nonetheless, we have, look at this, look at all the drivers going into the pits. This is the perfect time for a wave around if you were to take it. And I do wonder if any drivers will take it. I mean, Art McEwen might be able to take it.
I guess I
and
jumped
get back
Jamie
onto
in the
the lead
pits.
lap. He's currently still out on track. What do you do here? Do you just wait it out? I'm not sure if the wave around will actually even be in play. You know what? Ignore everything I said because Philippe Lambert is still out on the track right now. So wave around will not happen, I don't believe.
No, it will not. In order for you to get that wave around the pace car, you've got to find yourself way down in the order.
Yeah.
And you've got to
Well,
find
I think we'll
yourself,
get a green flag running
in
here
front
pretty soon.
of the current race leader. If the race leader is in front of you, though, you're not entitled to a wave around the pace car when lights
just
are
veered
out.
off
So
there. Was that
there
wood?
will be no wave around. No dice so far for the other guys, unless Lambert comes down this time by, which he does not.
Yep. So that's really unfortunate for
Now,
some of the guys that
this-
wanted to get laps back.
I'm curious about this call here from Lambert. He's 32 laps on his stint. Why would you not come down to pit with everybody else? He's going to get swamped on this restart.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely going to get swamped here. I don't necessarily think it was the best move to stay out. Even, I mean, he's got to think that maybe with his pit strategy, it's going to help out because I just don't see where that was necessarily the smartest call to make.
So if we pit this round,
he was
then no fuel saving to worry
kind
about.
of far back. Okay, so he was far back. I don't know. Maybe he thinks that there's going to be another quick caution, but he'd still be coming out. I don't know. I really don't know. He wants to be off strategy, then let him be off strategy.
Shout out to Johnny Garrett, by the way. He's a driver that's a few spots back at 68. He had to serve a pit lane start today. So he started from the pit road, started dead last. He is up to second now.
Amazing. And remember, he was the next car that was going to be lapped at the beginning of the race. And this is all about just real positioning for him. He's done a very nice job in the race so far. And it's not like he can't have a chance to win here. I think anyone that is
okay,
currently on
Josh,
the lead
get
lap
ready. Race will
can
resume
win
at the
this
end of
race.
this lap.
By the way, We're at 19 now. You're going to lose.
Oh, how confident you are. Now, here's the other big thing here for Felipe Lambert. While he is on older tires, he also has several cars between himself and Johnny Garrett. Now he's got Art McEwen and Paulie Parton in between him here, so he's got a bit of a buffer room here to work with before these before he really is in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just I couldn't quite hear everything you were saying, but I do agree because I was hearing Joshua Chin say something. I can't speak today. Joshua Chin was saying something over the radio. So I always love hearing the banter between drivers. We can't necessarily share it all on air, but
Pace car's coming in. Get ready.
Typically, bring it to your attention.
Now, Felipe Lambert has been the king of restarts so far this race, but he's on 32-lap older tires than everybody else who are on complete fresh tires. So this could be big here.
Green flag.
Track is starting to heat up as well. The sun has come back out to play, so the track's back up to 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind still blowing off to the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. We'll have to see how that impacts these cars. Big launch from Lambert again, and we are underway. And look at this, Garrett forced to kind of partake in a roadblock here. Black cars in front of him. You can only watch as Lambert rockets away with the lead.
Yep, Lambert is just gone. There is no better start for him. Johnny Garrett, though, he's going to have to draft and maybe go down on the inside here and potentially get that position back.
He's definitely going to get past Art McEwen here, but it is quite a ways back. He's got himself 1.3 seconds all the way up to Lambert there, so it's quite a ways up the road. So Garrett's going to have to work if he wants to catch up to him and take that race lead away, even with being on fresh tires.
There we go.
Yeah, for sure. And with the fresh tires, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's going to make a huge difference.
I think that's Johnny Garrett second right now.
The biggest game changer here will be if we do have a full fuel run, which I don't think we will have. I mean,
he's still there.
I just don't see a situation where having slightly worn tires is really going to matter.
Still there. He's still there.
32 laps. Wouldn't call that slightly.
Whoa.
Keep your line.
That's Vesta. Oh, is it Paulie? Oh yeah, he's left down.
This is with Jan Hoffman,
Calling outside.
Stanley, Baird, and more running up.
Clear outside.
They've got themselves a lap car. Paulie Parton. They're going to go 3 wide.
Oh, no.
The lap car,
I always get those two mixed up.
And now Parton is going to get forced up high. That was too close for comfort.
Settle it down, boys. We're not even at the halfway point here.
And Parton finally breaks clear of the lead lap traffic. Definitely a very, very close call for him. Jan Hoffman leads the train, battling for fourth.
I can't believe we had a 3 wide there.
It's worth noting as well that Vortex Emerson at the moment running 4th, 5th, and 6th at the moment, so they can really use that power there to keep Willie Schwarbauer and others behind him and try to fend them further and further off of the race leaders. Robert Rocher's in 3rd as well, trying to run down Johnny Garrett, but Garrett is now within sights of Lambert. So at this point in time, in terms of the top 5
coming on the inside, Willie.
Vortex Emerson takes up about every single spot except
Hold your line.
1.
Still there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the mark of a great team, right? You always expect Vortex to
still
really
there.
be
You're clear on the outside.
for wins,
P7.
for championships. That's no surprise.
Lambert has been caught by Johnny Garrett in the 68 machine. Now, how easy will Lambert make it for Garrett to get past in the battle for the lead here? Robert Groscher is still trying to close in as well. He's watching the battle for 4th just at the top of the screen as well, off of the turn number 2 and approaching halfway.
I just don't think you can really get a run if it's just 1 to 2 cars just battling it out.
Car on the high side.
I mean, you obviously have Robert Groscher.
He's still with you.
He's about to come back into this conversation. It's just
Outside's clear.
I don't think you can get a good enough run around the outside to kind of stay in first place. We're going to see if it's possible here. But look,
hey everyone, how's it going? Mandy, this is iRacing Classic IndyCar Series. It's iRacing League that's broadcasted every other Sunday. And
I don't know. It's going to matter
so,
just
yeah.
a little bit here.
Other than that, we run on the IR05
32
chassis and
lap
iRacing,
I don't
and
necessarily think
it's pretty competitive.
It's gonna matter.
One of the better leagues, I think, in iRacing.
So Garrett up high, Lambert down low, Robert Groscher waited in the wings, hoping these guys continue to battle side by side so he can draft up there and help out his teammate to maintain the race lead. Lap 100 this next time by in just 1.5 miles. We'll be halfway.
P7.
Yeah, I like this setup now. It's
Garrett now
doing well that I can actually turn the car.
Lambert, who's definitely big on the defense, blocking in the middle of the track here.
Just right behind this Vortex train for a bit, though.
100 down, 100 to go here from Kansas Speedway, halfway in round 3 of the 2021 Classic IndyCar Series season for round number 3.
This is some great side-by-side racing, and look at that pack just behind. I mean, that's where the battles are happening. I still don't necessarily think that they're going to break free of each other. Robert Groscher, to be honest, is going to be the one helped most by this because he has the advantage of having a 2-car draft to work from.
And one thing I've noticed as well is that the guys in the back, as we watch one car come into pit road just down there at the bottom, that's Art McEwen. The battle for 4th place, it's actually single filed out now. They're helping each other to draft on up because they realize that when they're side by side, if they stay single file, they're going to get up there eventually. It might take a while, but they'll get there.
Yep, it's extremely smart, and it's the way it's going to go. I think they will catch up in maybe less than 10 laps time.
Keep this line.
I mean, it's only a second.
Keep your line.
That means they're definitely within the draft. Now, Groscher has caught the train, or has caught the battle for the lead. Now, what can he do here, you reckon,
still there.
to help out his teammate Lambert? Because at the moment, Lambert is really struggling to hold on to that race lead there. Groscher's got to do something before Garrett eventually takes it.
Why would Groscher want to necessarily help out when he wants to take that position away?
True that.
He's still with you.
Say this, it's part of better than battling a teammate
and
than it is
still
to be
there.
battling
Clear
two
outside.
guys at the same time. I would say try to get Garrett out of the picture first, maybe muscle him back, and then you can work on getting the lead yourself.
Is it though? Because you can't really go all elbows out when it's a teammate.
I don't know. You clearly didn't see it. I mean, the Indy 500 last year, remember that one? I mean, that was the whole reason why LaVille was able to really get the championship that time, was because some of his teammates went elbows out with each other.
Very true. Very true. Very fair. Elbows out. I mean, oh boy. You see them closing in on each other. By the way, that difference, as you see back here, it's not closing in as quickly because they're not all single file anymore. I mean, they're in the draft. They can get the draft
on the low side.
Get going from that. They just are not in that
still with you.
Big advantage anymore.
Keep your line.
And
keep
Lambert
this line.
has managed to break away from Garrett as well. So now
still
it's
there.
Robert Groscher versus Johnny Garrett. A bit of breathing space now
and
from
still
Lambert.
there.
His teammate will be trying to put
Garrett
behind him to allow for Groscher to try to drag back up, and then he'll be able to challenge for the race lead as well. This is still kind of backing them up, though, into that battle for 4th place.
Still there.
Slowly but surely
clear on the inside.
In as well.
Some swapping of positions. Is it going to really matter?
7th position.
I mean, this difference, it's closed down to under a
Sorry.
second. Actually, the last time they crossed the line was 8.5 tenths. Now it's to 8
The car
tenths. They
decided it wanted to run low.
And it's now to
I'll try it.
7.5.
Keep it here for this one.
My goodness, they are closing in at a mile a minute almost.
Oh, big wiggle. Oh, watch out. Watch out.
Obviously.
I don't know. It was a Vortex car.
P6. Race car is out. We're under caution.
Garrett's under fire.
Oh no!
Oh, look out! Oh, Hoffman's in the wall. Hang on to it, Hoffman. Keeps it out. Hoffman still.
All right.
Hoffman has gone off.
Thanks, Jake.
Oh, this has to be caution out. There it is. Caution flag.
It's been tough so far. I've been having to focus a lot instead of paying attention to chat, obviously. So
Good job on Hoffman.
hopefully these cautions
That's safe
kind of stay away for a little bit because I got a good car now. I want to stay out. What's our field window now? Can I stay out?
I think he would have. The first worry was just save his car. See what happened. I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm not going to stop then.
Slow up there. Johnny Garrett looked to have been going
Oh,
slower.
I got you. If we pit, then it's a
down
one stop
from
from
the
here.
inside,
I got
so
you.
he wasn't up against the wall, so he got a worse, you know, I guess I don't want to say necessarily start, but just he had a slower speed.
I'm at 48 laps
than everybody else. He was at 203 miles per hour, while Hoffman was closing in at 215. My question is, why do you just not, slow a little bit?
It's because
I'm
Hoffman
staying out.
had
Sorry.
Marshall Stanley right behind him. He really couldn't, because that's because of the point where Stanley's a teammate. Doesn't look good if you're looking at brake checking your own teammate, Bear. So,
but he's not.
It comes back to that.
If it's a one-stopper from here.
It comes back to that whole point earlier on in the race about how we had that other car that kind of spun out towards the outside wall when he came down across some of these does, and we had been saying it's not the guy that hit him's fault because he had a car behind him. He could have slowed, or he'd get run over himself. Same situation there, except this time it was the car that had to slow up who got the bad end of it.
Right. Still though, it's just a frustrating situation. No matter what, you look back and you're like, I could have done this. I could have done that. That is racing, where even no matter how much it might have been somebody else's fault, there's always something you can do to avoid it in hindsight.
Oh.
Robert Groscher inherits the race lead as Lambert comes down to pit road. And that will drop Lambert all the way back down to the 8th position. So a little ways down for Lambert
back
to
to
work
one
his way
for your
up.
engine
But
map.
now he does have about 23 lap fresher tires than everybody else in the field. However, like you said, we saw how little that actually mattered when it came down between himself and Johnny Garrett.
If it's a one-stopper here, I'm gonna stay out with these Vortex guys right now. I need to stay with them. And
once again, if you're just tuning into this broadcast today, welcome. We're just past halfway here for round 3 of the
but you got to remember, every pit strategy offset that I choose usually screws me, so probably shouldn't have followed me with that one.
If you did miss the first half of the race, fear not, you will be able to watch the rebroadcast of the race on ESTV on Roku. Once again, that is going to be rebroadcasted live on ESTV on Roku. Now, if this happens to be next week, and I got to pull a good old Jeremy Clarkson here. I have 2 takes here, one for the present and one for the alternate future. So if you're watching us from the future and 1 week from now, well, welcome. We hope you're enjoying the race so far. And my goodness, what a race it has been so far.
It has been quite a good race. It's just unfortunate that we haven't seen too many green flag runs. I mean, that was the longest green flag run that we've seen.
That wasn't one of the longer green flag runs, wasn't it? I'm not sure if it was
quite
the longest run. I think the one between the... No, actually,
oh, really?
I think you're right. That was actually the longest. No, not quite. The one just before that was a tad quicker, but from lap 60 all the way to 86. So we're definitely seeing the green flag runs are starting to become longer and longer in this race.
Yep, and that is because there are fewer drivers that can potentially get wrecked.
And I was right. This is caution number 6 right now on the day. I did not expect myself to actually get that right, but I just counted them out, and sure enough.
I never expect you to get the number correct.
Race car's coming in this lap.
Great at math.
Okay, I know how to count. Okay, that's a bit harsh.
It's you said you couldn't do math, so it's a callback. It's a callback.
That's so unfortunate.
Lights out. Gotta go green this next time by. Oh my goodness.
Still with that lead lap watch, 17.
He's in it for the
realism. I was
realism.
up to 19 this last time by. Oh, so you're right.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
I think so. Yep.
What do I?
No, Vortex.
I don't know.
Yeah, Marshall's or Johnny Garrett's second, like Willie said.
No, not even that's too good. Let's see.
Map 1.
You win.
All right, Josh, be ready. We're going green.
Good with that. I'm good with that.
I'll see how I'll be able to make that work, but we'll see.
I wish we had our cams on for this, because that I could have, or you put it in our chat, in our race spot chat.
Green. Let's go.
We'll find a way. Lights are off.
And it will be in the hands of Robert Groscher. Pace cars off. End of caution flag, number 6 on the day. Groscher with the launch. We're back underway. Johnny Garrett trying to catch up as we take it back to the green flag on lap 114. And single file all the way on back to about the 11th position, but still nice and close, though, for the top groupers as well. On board with Jamie Wilson. He's right now in the battle for 5th and 6th, right behind Josh Baer.
Oh, man, they are as close as you could possibly be. 3 in a line right here. You just wonder if there is a bit of dirty air playing its part.
Hold
the
your
speed
line.
difference is going to lead to cars having to pull out of the throttle.
And it's just as close back as well to Logan Sims behind Wilson as well. So Wilson have to look at the 2 places. Look at this. Baer got a bit twitchy there. Moved up the track, and that potentially might have given Wilson the run, but Wilson was not able to get the speed that he needed. Didn't have the momentum up the corner to make that one worse. And now he's got Simmons on his outside, but Sims will back out and get clear. And that actually causes this battle here to split up a little bit.
Yep, and I don't think it's going to be split up for that long just because of how the draft is working right here. Yes, after a restart, we typically see cars go single file, but it bunches back together very quickly.
As can be seen, as Robert Groscher is now right in front of Johnny Garrett, who's about a 10th of a second behind. And they've got the battle for 3rd and 4th between Stanley and LaVille. Vortex Simerson teammates there closing in just behind as well. And you can see how defensive Groscher started to be, trying to weave a little bit more than he would in an attempt to break the draft. That ain't going to work, though, in these cars. And look at this, Garrett with the run.
P5.
Will Garrett be able to make the move work? Yes, it looks it. He's not clear yet, but Robert Groscher with the advantage on the outside. He's going to try and keep his advantage. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, though. And maybe a little bit of a slide job in a way coming up.
Good grief. That outside lane is just so powerful. Even as Groscher gets clear, watch here is now he's not clear at all. As even when you think you're clear, you're really not. Because look at the overspeed that Groscher has on Garrett down the front straightaway. That outside lane, you know how to pull it right. It could be your best friend in a race like this. Now, first on back to 8th, all in the train.
This is some incredible racing. It's going to even get bunched up some more. Oh, just don't make a mistake here, boys.
Keep your line. Hold your line.
Groscher trying to go
still
up
there.
high. Once again, they're trying to take away the race
Still there.
lead, but John DeGarrett is so strong on the bottom
Still
side
there.
as well. He just has all the speed on entry. It's
Still
where
there.
the exit comes in and counts, but here's the thing as well.
He's still there.
That exit could be all that Groscher needs. He might not
He's
get
still
through
there.
the next corner, but if this comes around at the end of the race and it's like this,
He's still with you.
That start-finish line, it is an advantage to
Still
one.
there.
It's halfway down the front, and halfway down the front, Groscher's
still
ahead
there.
every single time.
Oh my goodness. There's
still
just,
there.
I don't know where there is room for
Keep
Marshall
your line.
Stanley right now, as there is just this 5
He's still
pack.
there.
It's almost like the flying V from the Mighty
Still
Ducks.
there.
You cannot get them separated.
Still there.
And even when we thought
He's
Groscher
still
was
with you.
clear, Garrett
P4.
had him on the entry again. And look, they're
Keep your
almost
line.
trying to bump draft each other here. And I can tell you right now, that
Still
is
there.
not going to work. These guys start trying to bump draft each other. That is definitely
still
a stock
there.
car thing. And even bump drafting here in stock cars
He's
is
still
a
with
little
you.
bit of a questionable maneuver as well. So
Keep your line.
first on back to 8th, all in
He's
the
still
straight.
there.
Check that 9th. The Liga has entered the picture as well.
Keep
in
this
the
line.
dark blue car, just barely in the background there. And then
Still
of course
there.
you have Liam Quinn at the Chimera machine. Turquoise
Still
and
there.
white trying to close in behind as well.
Hold your line.
I don't know which
Clear
spot
high.
is the more precarious one to be in. Do you want to be on the inside? Do you want to be on the outside? Because if there
Car
is
high,
a
stay low.
mess, I mean, does it really
Outside's
matter?
clear. Car
If
high.
there's a checkup, you kind of want to be on the outside
Still there.
because you can go a little bit higher. But how
You're
about
clear on the
there's a
outside.
checkup
Car
going
outside.
into a corner? I have no idea. I think it's just
He's still
a
there.
matter of what is the available spot that gets you
Still
a
with
few
you.
extra
P3.
yards right now.
He's still there. Clear on the outside.
What a shot.
Car on the high side. He's still
This
with
is
you.
about as
Clear on the
tight as
outside.
this
Car on the high
tight
side.
top trend has been all day
Outside's
long.
clear,
It really
car
not
high.
been this close. It's getting really
Still there.
tight there with Logan Simmons on the inside line.
Keep
and
your line.
now the whole train starting to weave across the track.
Hold your
here as
line.
People try to give
P4.
themselves a little bit more room
Still
to work
there.
with. I think Garrett just now
You're clear up
finally
high.
managed to break clear, and he is no longer going to be side by side with Robert Groscher, but heads up because Groscher is still trying to close on in, and they're so close for third as well. It's so close. You gotta hold your breath here to make
P3.
sure that you gotta hold your breath here because The slightest error is going to create the biggest of wrecks here, probably the biggest one we will have seen all day long. Oh, and I don't like what I saw there.
No,
Johnny, 2 tires onto the apron.
Johnny, my boy. Move. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's just no place to really get back on. Oh, look at that. Sweeping down to the inside here on the back stretch is going to gain potentially 1 position here.
That's Marshall Stanley making a pass on Simmons.
Did you see that? Willie Schwabauer almost came right together with, I believe, Lucas Laville. I mean, again, it looked just as close as it was for Baird when he hit or tapped the wall very early in the race.
I think they did make a bit of contact.
They absolutely did. How did they not get collected in a wreck there? I have no idea.
Well, I think that's caused the train to kind of single file out here because now there's a little bit more sense here. No sense of going double file. You still got nearly 75 laps to go in this race. But my goodness, what a battle that was. And that's what it's going to be like if this train stays the way it is, and I hope it does. That's what that race is going to look like at the end of the race and more.
There's a car inside. P3.
I'm still reeling back. I didn't want to create any extra havoc for this, but these cars
He's still there.
The drivers are just, there's no barrier. There's no bubble. It's just
He's
really
still there.
Get as close as you can possibly get as
Keep
long as
your
it
line.
gives you an advantage.
And still there.
What can I say? These guys are some of the best
Still
of the
there.
best when it comes to the Dallara IRO5s and how they
P4.
run. I mean, these guys
He's
are
still
just
there.
so strong at what they do. No fear at all.
He's still
for
with you.
Robert Groscher as he really pinches
Still
Johnny
there.
Garrett down the bottom, making sure Johnny Garrett does not
Still
get
there.
a run out of the corner at all. But look at this in the trial.
He's still
Garrett's
there.
still pulling ahead here. Groscher at this point is trying to
He's
really
still
pinch
there.
Garrett down to make sure he can't diamond off the corners. That's not
Still
going to
there.
happen, though, as Garrett gets clear once again. Oh,
Still
but
there.
not quite. Here comes Groscher back on the high side.
He's still with you.
This is just unreal.
He's still there.
racing. I almost just want to.
Hold your
I
line.
don't even know what to say about these drivers. They're just
Keep
going
your line.
without any fear right now of
Still
repercussions, and that's what we want to see. 70 laps to
He's
go
still
in this
there.
race, though. We still
You're
have
clear down
so
low.
much time.
car low.
105 miles to go.
Inside's clear.
105 miles to go. Take it right on board
Stay
of
high.
Groscher here, and as they cycle in for turn 3,
Keep your line.
look at how close Groscher's going to try to pinch
Still
that
there.
inside lane down right over there on the right
Still
rear
there.
wheel of Johnny Garrett and nearly flipping the front
He's still
wheel
with you.
as well. Once again, double filed out all
Still
the
there.
way back to the 9th position at the moment. Make
He's
that
still
10,
there.
so the top 10 all in a big
Keep
train.
this
If
line.
These guys catch lap traffic here. If
still
I was
there.
lap traffic, I would just go to the apron and brake, because these
P5.
guys, you do not want to
He's
find
still with
yourself
you.
alive with this group at the moment.
Yeah, and that would
Lay
be
down low.
Philippe Lambert, who would be the next car that would be lapped
Stay
here.
high.
Again, by the way, 16 on the lead lap.
And still there.
Dang it.
He's still with you. Still there.
The top 10.
Hold your line.
all together. The top 10
Still
are
there.
all together by like 7/10
P6.
seconds. Unbelievable.
He's still there.
Stanley got blocked big time there by
Low side's
Garrett. Look
clear.
at Stanley with the run of the inside this time round.
No problem,
However,
no problem.
inside lane getting a run up to these corners here, but he's
Car
gonna
on the
make that
outside.
one work. Marshall Stanley
Car
now
outside.
goes to the point for the first time today.
Car can wash up real
Keep
quick
your
on this
line.
track.
And he just got a
Still
big
there.
run and moved to the inside. He has Robert
He's
Groscher
still with
in
you.
the draft right behind him. Johnny Garrett
Still
on
there.
the outside,
He's clear
going
outside.
right up against the wall, trying
Car
to
low.
get the
Stay
Oh,
high.
oh, jeez.
possibly
In the
can
middle.
to get all
You're clear
that
all round.
momentum.
Car
I don't
low.
know if it's
No
gonna
problem.
Clear
help.
on the
He's
inside.
kind of left
It's car
straight
low.
out
Stay
there on the
high.
outside.
Car either side. You're in the middle.
Yep.
Inside's clear. All
Coming
clear.
with him.
I got kind of stuck in the middle there and had nowhere to go, so had to wiggle my way out of that one. That was too close for comfort, though.
P10.
That really scared Baird up, and that is broken apart. 8th, 9th, and 10th in the train now as they're going to drop back. If these guys still side by side in front, they might be able to close back in, but that was a close one.
That was way too close for comfort. And again, it's like we were saying, all it takes is one little wiggle and something bad can happen.
Blocking all the way down to the middle of the track. The one car, even 2 lines tires on the apron. That was Groscher, and then watches up, nearly cleans out Logan Simmons, who gets the run around for 3rd on the outside lane. Trying to go 2 for 2 here. Simmons goes around the outside, and Garrett now trying to make fast. Groscher nearly puts Wilson to the outside. Well, what is going on?
Drivers, we still have a lot of race to go. I mean, there's no need for all of this craziness right now. If I'm any of the drivers that wants to just get a good points haul right now, I would just go drop a little bit back. Or not. I don't know. I don't know where is the right place to go. NASCAR is at Talladega today. This feels like it right here in Kansas.
This has reminded me of the 2015 Auto Club race at IndyCar.
Yeah, I think so.
When it was one of the most thrilling IndyCar races, in my opinion, of all time. There was just non-stop action, lap after lap after lap after lap. This really reminds me exactly of that race, because this has just been non-stop action from lap upon lap.
Yeah, it's some great racing, and you know what? When you have great racing and you have close racing, as we see maybe 3 wide in the corner for one of the first times, then you've got some. You've got a great product to show off. In the Classic IndyCar Series, I personally love it a little bit more on ovals than road courses, just because of how these cars handle on them. But it's just some great racing.
Oh, let's be honest. Just about everybody loves IndyCars more on ovals than on road courses, and it's for this exact reason here.
Very fair.
I mean, these guys are still hitting 213 miles an hour in the corners, let alone down the front straightaway, where they're headed up to sometimes 220 miles an hour, and then still 20 miles an hour off with their top speed, which is 240. Close for the lead off the corner as Whiteboys decides that it doesn't want to work anymore. Johnny Garrett trying to get the outside run still.
This is just unbelievable. Not much analysis there, but it's just, how are these drivers dealing with the nerves?
I don't think they are. I think they're just letting instant take over at this point. Oh my gosh, Garrett just chopping off Logan Simmons, fitting into the smallest of gaps, and now trying to go for the outside run around Stanley once again with 59 laps remaining. I think we're both at a loss for words for this moment, because this is just absolutely insane. It's not like Long Beach where we're at a loss for words because of how little action there was. This time it's about much action there is. Look at Simmons now with the outside run. And Stanley really wants Garrett down. Now Simmons gets chopped off on the outside line.
How these drivers have not just completely lost it is beyond me. I'm not even sure exactly what to say, except will they have to
risk
go
an iconic
for some
undercut or
pit stops?
just run out of fuel?
I don't think they're going to be able to make it back to green flag pit stops. There's no way they can, not if they keep racing this hard, they're not even going to make it to green flag pit stops. I mean, this pack at the moment, it's a ticking time bomb.
Yes, it is, and it's pretty awesome. It is some pretty awesome action right now.
I know, which means that it really pays for the saying that it's only going to go on for so long where somebody makes a very costly mistake, and that's going to really put a lot of the action out of the fight tonight. This is the biggest train we got around the track at the moment. It really is like the biggest battles. This is where all the action is on the track at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard your wheel.
Terrible run through 1 and 2.
I didn't see anything, though.
Stanley and Garrett to get a little bit further out in front. This train is starting to split up here a bit, it would seem.
Yeah, it's definitely doing that, but I only think it's going to happen momentarily. There will still be bunching up that happens. It's just the nature of this draft.
And now they're catching Rock Carpenter as well, just up the road, who does have that damaged rear wing still from his crash earlier today. So, oh, hello, what's this? Lucas Laville down to the pit road, it would seem. The driver's maybe does say, if you want to go to pit road, you have to make that mistake in turn 3. So Laville, first driver down, I think what he's going to do is he's going to come on down, and then he's going to take the full up on gas, and now he knows he's going to be good on fuel to the end.
Yeah, I got 2.
He knows that all of these drivers would need to go into the pits as well for the wave around, so I think he's going in. And Robert Groscher is going in as well. So yeah, pit stops happening right now.
Here.
P7, only 2 more laps of fuel.
So green flag pit stops underway for the first time today here for Kansas Speedway, and just in time too. They've caught Rod Carpenter, and that's about 4 cars fewer that Carpenter's got to worry about taking him out here. As the field continues to dart through on the bottom side. Now, who's going to come in this time around? Will we see anybody else this time around? It was Vortex Sim Racing that was the first drive.
Johnny Garrett pushed into Willie.
Coming on down to the lane. Meanwhile, Willie
P4 on the low side.
You've only got enough fuel for this lap.
Still there.
Of Johnny Garrett. Big front wing damage on the 65.
Hold your line.
That could be a game changer.
my
Low
goodness,
side's clear.
you have to be careful here, but obviously it's going to prove to be impossible for all the drivers involved as Robert Groscher is coming out right now of the pits, and as soon as these guys come in, so I think that when LaVille and all of them start to come in, we'll see the replay right
Look
here
out for the
with
pit
the
speed limit.
65. Ah, man, that's just a lack of communication right there from Johnny Garrett.
How did Garrett not spin out there?
I have no idea.
Either on the 68.
Box
That
in
is,
5.
That's a
Okay.
problem
4,
with
3,
exactly where you're supposed
2,
to go in.
1.
And if I am
Box now.
any of the league organizers, you got to look at that with Johnny Garrett because he did not get onto pit lane until
Blue car's
already
pitting.
into turn 3.
Well, at the moment, it's showing that we don't even have about 4 cars on the lead lap. I'm not giving you that clap yet, though, here, Dylan, because
Okay.
you and I both know that it's just the pit stops. It's all going to cycle.
There's
back
traffic
through.
behind. Take care.
I'll allow it.
I'll have to casually change the rules here, and I'm going to change my bet and say we're not going to have 12 on the lead lap here.
Okay, you can do that. You can do that.
Nah, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy.
Trust me, I have the footage to prove otherwise. It would just add more fuel to my fire. Speaking about fuel to the fire, these drivers are getting fuel right now, and they're good for the rest of the race.
So at the moment, Rossman, the race leader, that will not last though because these guys still have to come down the
14th.
pit road.
The gap in front has increased to 1.31.
Dart their way here through the corners. You got Andrew Dare Saunders, Andrew Wood, Stephen Rossman, and Cody Luke all in this train here, and this means that Rossman will officially lead a lap on the day, but we all know it's not going to cycle out to be that way. I think these guys are more running out the tanks until they're dry. Now, if a caution happens now, though, it traps all those drivers that just pitted the lap down, and the whole race gets turned on its head. So right now, the one that they don't need is a caution.
Yeah, but even if there is a caution, there's not that many drivers that were on the lead lap that they'd have to really worry about. They'd still have to work their way through around 13 drivers to get back up to the front, but I don't think it's going to be that huge of a deal. Now, the drivers who are currently on the lead lap from first to fourth, now a caution would work perfectly for them, but it wouldn't hurt too much if there's not one for them. Because of the amount of cars, it just doesn't matter as much.
And this is all going to mean the race is going to kind of die on off now at this point in time. The guys that are running out in front, not nearly as close as they were before. I see Hans Picken and Todd Novosad kind of running together, but then in terms of drivers that are actually battling together, I got
P14.
Simmons, LaVille, Stanley kind of running in the train there. Quinn and Groscher are together. Lambert's by himself, but he's being caught by Wilson and Schwarbauer behind. And then Gerlicka and Baird are just a short ways back from them. So that 10-car train that we saw duking it out ever since that restart has really fallen away with those pit stops.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I do wonder if we're going to actually see it again. I think we will. I think it's only a matter of time before we see this pack of drivers go into the pits. Once that happens, I think we'll start to see some punching up again. It's just, right now it's just waiting. It's just waiting to see what happens here. Andrew Adair Saunders, I mean, he is on the lead lap right now, but he's, I don't know, he's close to getting swallowed up by Andrew Wood and a bunch of other drivers like Stephen Rossman is going to lap him. So we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it's just about waiting for them to go into the pits, the top 4.
Oh, really?
And those drivers, again, for the top 4 are Stephen Rossman, Cody Luke,
penalized for that.
and Andrew Adair Saunders. Lucas LaVille got by Simmons that last time by there, and he managed to kind of put himself up another spot in his own little train there, but it's still a long way up where he wants to actually take over the race lead. I think we'll expect to see the other guys that are running out there on the track at the moment. They're probably going to be coming in here within the next 10 laps or so.
I think you can do two wheels under the line, can't you?
I think they definitely will start to come in then, and from that point on, I think we're going to see some more bunching up.
Yeah.
.42 laps remaining as we continue to wait here for this field to come on down to pit road. Let's take a quick ride. Let's take a ride aboard with one of the rookies here today. We'll take a ride aboard with Cody Luke here for some Race Spot TV fan immersion.
Yeah, I should have taken out that wing adjustment in this last pit cycle because now I'm in clean air. I needed the wing for the dirty air, but now it's killing me. If we get a late caution, it'll help, but until then, I'm out of the running.
Pace car's out.
Oh,
We're under
pace
caution.
car. Caution. Oh, that was so close. Oh, nope. Maybe it wasn't close. Might have lost my wing there.
Caution flag is out. This is a game changer here.
Liam's VR crashed.
Upside down in turn number 3 and 4 with Robert Groscher. After the two of them tango bingo, both of them flipped upside down. This has changed the whole outlook of this race, Dylan.
Yep, absolute game changer right there. I didn't quite see what happened, but I mean, that just happened out of nothing.
And that is going to trap a lot of cars a lap down here. They might be able to get the wave out to get themselves back out there, but good grief, that is a bad situation there. There you see the hard crash. Both cars slammed the outside wall in 4 and got kicked up and over.
What happened? Oh, and Cody Luke almost just ran into Stefan Rossman.
They were checking up for the pace car. What happened there was Liam Quinn was kind of going to the inside, and Robert Groscher had a bigger run of them than I think he expected. So he tried to go on the outside as Quinn actually checked up in front of Robert Groscher. Don't know why, but after the initial contact, which was nose to tail, Liam Quinn just got unsettled and slammed Groscher up at the outside wall. But the rest of the field out that did not come down to pit is going to come down pit road, and that will do it for green flag stops. They're going to be staying out there to the end, so if that train picks up again, well, you know what that means.
Yes, sir. That means I've won our bet. But
Hey, Don, can you see if I have damage on my rear wing?
Great action to wind down this race. You hope it's green for the rest of the way. I just have a feeling that, I don't know. Joshua Chin saying...
Okay, I had a car go flying over me, so I said I got a 4X for that, but I don't think I did because I think it clipped through me.
If it crashes, it's like your screen going black. You can't see.
Right.
And he obviously wouldn't have known that it's on the outside, so that is... Oh, dear.
Wow. I mean, that's just terribly unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, I did say you'd get your one clap. It was 15 or less. We're down to 4. So even if I move my back down to 12, I still would have lost. So, well, I'm going to give you a good old clap right about here. There's your clap.
I didn't hear a single thing.
Oh, really? Well, let me try it again. Got it that time?
Yeah, I did.
There we go.
Thank you very much. I mean, this race has been intense. I'm surprised so many drivers were able to still stay in on this race, even though they are some laps down. I think that's been impressive. It's a nice points haul regardless.
That's awesome.
So this is the 8th.
It's not over yet.
Caution
You got a
day,
chance,
I
so.
believe, and now we see some of the other cars starting to come on down, like Don Day, Andrew Wood is back down. Philip Lambert is back into the lane as well, interestingly enough. So
Yeah.
this will be interesting here to see how this is going to kind of play out. But this is definitely good news here that those guys did come down to pit, because it means that guys that were laps down are going to be able to work their way back up. But Stefan Rossman is...
Man, I need to stall in the pits more often.
He will still be the control car by the time we take that green flag in just a couple laps.
Who knew that was the race strategy?
You know, I wonder, now with everyone being back on that similar strategy, you really have to throw that out the door. I think we've proven that those tires that were
Yeah, you'll
at one point,
race moment,
did not really
VRC
matter
moment of the race,
in
that's
terms
for
of
sure.
battle. This is just going to come down to staying out of any danger and being the fastest car. That is literally it now.
I'm thinking it'll be about 33 laps to go when we take the green flag here. And that is not a long time at all. I mean, that's one of the longer runs that we've had so far in the day.
Okay, Josh, get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
This is crazy that 12 people are getting the wave around right here.
Right, and wow, this is going to be a wild finish here.
It will be 33 to go when the green flag is taken, and now a good portion of the field will be waved around the pace car, and they're going to have to scramble to catch the tail end of the field and get themselves restacked up before the end of this race. Stefan Rossman is still going to be in the race lead. He is just now going to be catching the tail end of the pacing car. Everybody else,
yeah, because we're all going to be flying around trying to catch it before the green flag again.
I was way off on that one, about 9 drivers getting.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, wait a second, what? That's a ton, but yeah, you know, it's a pretty crazy race so far.
Race car's coming in, be ready.
Wouldn't have been surprised if there were 15 getting a wave around, just because why not?
The pace car is in turn number 3, and we're getting set to go back racing here. The guys that got those wave rounds are just now catching up to the tail end of the field. This is going to be a very intense run to
green flag.
11 cars left on the lead lap. So who's going to take the victory in this one? At the moment, Rossman is in prime position here to be the upset winner.
P11.
The green flag. He's going to drop. He really holds the field there. We're off in the way. Some
Still there.
trying to jump
Outside's
the
clear.
They're double file
Oh,
already.
big wreck.
In the run down the Woodstock finish line. One car's getting sweet.
Yep.
Johnny Garrett makes a Garrett pass on the outside. And
Yeah, he hit the apron and collected a bunch of guys. Oh, there's another one.
Car on the outside.
Yep, I saw that.
Clear on the outside.
What?
Holy crap.
How do you say that?
8th place.
Yeah. He's just collected like 3 or 4 guys. He needs to pit with that rear wing damage.
What just happened?
Alright. I'm not going to fight you for this one.
I don't. What?
Willie will
How
just.
did he saved that? He was
Yep.
literally on top of him. What?
I don't know, but we'll take a ride on board. And
I have a
this
feeling
might
I do
show
have
here. Look at
damage. My
this.
car's just
Fully
not
on
showing
top
it.
of him and just,
Feel tight.
it doesn't get much simpler than that when it comes to wheel work, does it?
No.
Oh, heads up, Simmons
I'm
just
not.
spun around in turn number 3. He was coming down to pit road with Rod Carpenter. Now he's stopped on the apron of 3 and 4 just now. Got to tow back to pit lane. Still no caution.
He's back on pit lane, and now we're only going to have 10 drivers on the lead lap. You're way off.
Oh my. And Andrew Saunders struggled as well. This is the replay of Simmons' spin. He had made contact and got put into the wall by Carpenter about 1 lap prior to this. Just clipped the grass and away it went. A very messy restart though, and that all started because Stefan Rossman really held the field. He waited for Ireson to throw the green flag, which you are allowed to do. The rest of the field was so used though for the guys to just jump the start right away as soon as pace car was off that they all started going when the leader had it.
Right, and that's just how it goes. You go until the whistle, right? That's what you hear in all of sports. As we see, 3 wide for 3rd place. Smartly comes out of that.
And that is Lambert, who is a lap down. That's a lap car trying to go 3 wide through this field as well. He's trying to get a lap back, so the Lambert car comes out. He has a shot at the window, but this is a very treacherous thing to be doing here. Lambert has got to be smart about this. He's a lap car, so if he causes a crash here, it could be a big consequence here. Look at this. Rosman's trying to block him, trying to keep Lambert behind him. He does not want that lap car getting to the point and back on the lead lap.
You know, it's fair. It's
P8.
fair to get back on the lead lap in this way.
Just be careful you don't
They get a race ban with all these incident points he created.
Right. I believe this is Cody Luke's first race, correct?
I believe it is, yes.
Yep.
So Cody Luke, Andrew Adair Saunders, Stefan Rossman, Hans Pikkinen, they've all never won a race in the Classic IndyCar Series.
And they're the best ones to do it now.
Unbelievable.
Lambert goes high around Rossman, while Garrett tries to make the look around Saunders, potentially for the lead. No, Garrett's also a lap car. And Johnny Garrett is also a lap car. You're trying to get away through as well. So This is big news here. A couple of lap cars in the midst of your front runners here, and they're trying to get a laps back.
You know what else? All the drivers except for Lucas LaVille, who are currently on the lead lap in the top 10, have never won a race. We're going to see a first-time winner unless it's LaVille.
And LaVille is a very long way back at the moment, so it would be a big ask for him, I think, to be able to really
Crosses out.
Take this win here. Oh, well, he's now working up into this front field, though. That is worth mentioning as well. He's right there, third car on the outside line. They're in that train. But there's still a ways to go yet before he can really catch up to Andrew Adair Saunders.
Bad luck with my picks today for fantasy.
We saw there was a driver way up the track. Was that Josh Baird?
I'm not sure if it was. All I know is Garrett is really pinching Saunders down. Again, this is not for the race lead. This is for the just to get a lap back. The lead is actually all the way back at
car high, stay low.
Two cars battling right now with Saunders.
He's still
They're
there.
both lap cars.
That's
Keep your line.
amazing to me. I mean,
He's still there. High side's clear.
I mean, if I am, yeah, I know. If I'm Andrew Adair Saunders, I let them go by. I don't want to.
Hold your
I don't
line.
want to be fighting with them right now.
He's still there.
I mean, in all fairness, Saunders
Still with
is
you.
kind of pulling away from picking him behind him too.
Keep this line.
Oh,
He's
wreck.
still there.
Race car is out. We're under caution.
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable riding along with all of these guys right here.
Dang it.
The clouds once again begin to descend. Oh no! Big crash! Look out in front of the field! Huge crash there! One car gets sent to the moon! Johnny Garrett with a tremendous
I got a 1X.
accident. And still
I'm still alive. Oh, if I don't
down
spin on.
infield grass. The rookie out of the race who was getting set to maybe go for a win. And that was the two lap cars that tangled together. And one of them got launched straight into outer space. Did not know NASA had an IndyCar program.
I told you I felt uncomfortable. Yeah, there was no reason for Johnny Garrett to come down right there. That was just bad.
I don't know why it's
take a look at the replay here onto the front straightaway. That was
yeah, I had to stay behind him.
That was ridiculous.
I have to pass the 14 car.
And there's Coda Luke in the orange car. He just turned over from the wheel grip as he was skating across the infield as well.
Hopefully I didn't get any damage from that.
You know,
I don't think I did.
I like to kind of
Have to
look
see.
at the
Got
chat
a
that's
1X.
going on there and everything.
Technically speaking, but
And I really,
It was like a Beyblade there.
I know. I'd love to know what the chat thinks about that. Stefan asking.
I don't think it actually did any damage there.
No wins in the Classic IndyCar Series, and he has a fantastic shot here.
catch the 65 car. Okay.
Wow. I'm at a loss. That was something else. Well, we do have a couple of people here that are ready to the chat here. So
I took the infield to
while
get.
we're under caution here, let's start up and we'll bring up first the points leader, who unfortunately might not be the points leader at the end of this race. Ethan Hagan joins up here in the broadcast booth. Ethan, unfortunately not the day that you were hoping to have.
Oh, thanks.
No, I mean, the ovals were my weakness last season.
Is that better, Jake?
Unfortunately, strike me again, but hoping to be better at Motegi in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I had to take the infield to avoid it, but
well, how do you think things are going to be looking
I think I still collected a little bit. Don't know if
this is obviously going to be a big blow to the 21-point gap you have built yourself up over the first 2 races. Do you think you'll be able to recover that gap again when we get around to Motegi?
Hey,
yeah.
So, Willie, when we cross the start-finish line here, do you mind if I pull up alongside you so you can see if I have damage or not?
I mean, I have never done Motegi before, so
after we cross the start-finish line, obviously, I don't want any penalties for doing something stupid.
And then before I let you go here, Ethan, anybody feel like you just shout out for us? Sorry, we don't have the most amount of time here in the world.
Right side.
My family for supporting me, and just like thanks to everybody at Class IndyCar and Racebug for putting this together, and yeah.
And thank you, Ethan, for taking the time to coming up and give us a chat here today. Best of luck next week.
What just happened?
Thank you.
That was Ethan Aga, the
his car just turned left and straight into the wall.
Had some unfortunate struggles earlier today. We're going to bring up the other
What was that?
Okay, well, I was going to say let's bring up Robert Groscher, but...
yeah, I think so too.
You're kidding me.
What?
Question mark. Not sure what to make of that one here.
Wow.
What in the world? That is 3
I can't even.
under,
yeah, we can't even make that one up.
He was still no.
Marshall, you have ever so slight wing damage, just for your awareness. I don't think it's going to affect you though.
Suspect driving.
Well, with that out of the way, Dylan, we got Robert Groscher joining us up here in the booth. You're standing by with him.
Yeah, we are standing with Robert Groscher. Robert, it's been a weird day in
oh my gosh.
for this race, but
might need to
take us,
turn the chat down, because I'm sure we'll hear about it for sure. That sucks. What the heck? I've never had it. I've never had that happen before. That's crazy.
Race cars in this lap.
So sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes interviews don't always go the way we expect them to go. But
okay.
We'll jump back to live action here. How did that happen? Jaws dropped. Jaws have been dropped a lot.
Well, here's the thing. Saunders was kind of bouncing off the rev limiter all the way down the front straight. It kind of shifted between, I think, second and
our
first.
top 2 points guys,
and then
Willie and I are still sitting top 6, so I think we can, from a points perspective, we'll be all right. But yeah, we got screwed.
And then just decided not to use the brakes on his way back down to the infield.
I think he just knew.
Yeah, he's gonna get heavy.
Don't even know what to say to that one.
Well. I don't know either.
Okay, Josh, be ready. We're going green.
This race has been so weird. And if I am anybody right now in this field that is not in the top 2, top 3, I take tires.
You need to pit.
Your worst spot is going to be 8th.
Green flag.
We're clear higher.
Keep it within the track limits.
16 to go. We take the green flag.
P6.
The control car. The race car is down to the lane. Oh, wheel spin there for Picton and almost sends him into the outside wall. We're back on the way though as he gathers him out. LaVille with another good launch from himself. While the rest of the field starts to thunder off behind. Rossman 3rd, Stanley 4th, Schwarbauer 5th, Baird 6th. And then from there, cars lap down behind.
Willie Schwalbauer trying to make a move on Marshall Stanley.
Oh, problem for Rossman. He's coming down to pit road.
What happened to him?
Potential speeding penalty, maybe. Not sure if he came down to pit this last time by. He did not, so no idea what's going on here for Stefan Rossman, but that is going to effectively put him out of contention for a win tonight if this goes green.
It's going to be 7 cars on the lead lap.
LaVille going back to the point. The only driver
I'm
so
coming
far
inside.
in the top 10 that has won a race.
It's car high.
He's trying to win himself another one. Hans Pickenen
Still there.
running back down for the lead.
Keep your line.
Hans Pickenen is in a very nice
Still
spot
with you.
right here.
Outside's
so
clear.
is Lucas LaVille. I don't know. I'd still obviously prefer to be LaVille. You get the choice of lane and where you want to go, but
P4.
You're kind of like a sitting duck if there is potentially, if Marshall Stanley, Willie Schwalbauer can work together to catch up to you guys.
And that's going to be the big ticket question here is will these guys work together? They do still have the draft, and LaVille is certainly not safe at all. Coming to about a dozen laps to go this next time by. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's still a case of anybody's game. If Pickenen can get a good run, you never know. These 3, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they need to stop fighting each other. They need to find a way to get up there to the front. They need to work together here if they want to get themselves over
I just
the
revved out.
I have no idea what has gotten into some of these drivers today.
He's still there.
It's been an interesting race for sure.
Still there.
I will say, in the later stages especially, definitely more interesting than the Long Beach race was, where it was mostly just single file racing the entire course of the time. And that's why I love oval racing so much. It only picks on up as the race goes on.
I mean, you have to think here. Oh, hitting the wall. It looked like it was Josh Baird.
It was. No damage from Barrett, it looks like, so he approaches
Stay low.
relatively unscathed, but look at how much they've closed
Still
in
there.
here. Lucas Laville, whose lead is once more under
still there.
fire.
Clear higher.
Willie Schwalbauer, Josh Baird, Marshall Stanley, and Hans Pikkinen, the challengers to Lucas Laville. Will Laville
I can get the inside on these
back
two.
into this championship hunt, championship contention? I mean, I think this would put him up top.
Can you get the inside on him, Willie?
P3.
Lucas Laville,
Okay.
what can you do here? Marshall Stanley is a teammate. Two of the teammates go side by side in a run for the win. We saw that be a deciding factor in the Indy 500 just last year. Not quite the finale here today, but I wouldn't put it past these guys. But I guess after the last lap, there's no such thing as teammates.
Hans Pikkinen fell all the way back from second, now sitting in fifth. A good half a second behind Laville. Not sure what happened there. Willie Schwalbauer, or excuse me, Mike Gerlicka has all of a sudden caught up to this entire group of drivers.
Stay high.
It's because the side-by-side
Keep
battle,
your line.
he's able to sit back, watch it all, pick his
Clear
line
inside.
carefully.
Ah,
And look at this, Bear
too
trying
tight.
the outside line, but bobbles greatly as he tries to get out there. Under 10 to go. The clock is running out. It's crunch time out there on the track. Laville blocked against his teammate,
Go
Marshall
high.
Stanley. Bear has to go high. He's trying to get the runner
still
around
with you.
25.
You
He's still
imagine if we go to 5
And
to go,
still there.
then the next caution would end the race.
Still there. He's still there.
Marshall
Go ahead.
Stanley trying to get the run. No
Still with you.
white checkers in this series.
You're clear
For
up high.
IndyCar racing, that's just if it ends with a caution, that is how it is.
P4.
Laville chops down across Stanley as Stanley continues to try to fend off the field behind for his teammates.
I don't know if it's necessarily trying to block off the field for his teammate. I think it's just trying to block off the field for for himself. I just want to see two drivers fighting. Oh, man.
I don't know. A good 3-wide finish never hurt anybody.
Yeah, not at all. And Willie Schwalbauer, he is right there. He is right there. Will he get the help, though? Marshall Stanley has his right elbow out, pushing him a little bit higher than he'd like to be.
5 to go. Next caution ends the race. So at this point in time, a caution is what Laville wants. It's what he needs to secure a victory here today. Right now, that's the last
Going
thing
for it.
everybody behind him wants, so they all want to go have
Stay
a
low.
run here at this win.
Outside to clear.
4 to go.
My, oh my. If we do get to the final
There we go.
lap and there is an incident, we'll stay green. That's just how it works here in iRacing.
Marshall Stanley still having to go defensive here against Lucas Laville. He might not try something desperate until it's the very last lap. They all want this
Go
race
outside.
to finish on the green here, but how desperate do you get? When
Still
the white
there.
flag
You're
hits,
clear
just
high.
3 to go. 4.5 miles left in the race.
When you've got three drivers
Go on the high
all
side.
right there, they can see
Clear
it,
on the
they can
outside.
smell it, and Marshall Stanley, Schwalbauer,
Oh,
and
no.
Baird, they can get their first win.
2 laps left.
I want to hit the weight jacker to give me some more turn and hit the rev limiter.
What happened?
Does he have a problem here?
Is he out of fuel, or is he? What happened there?
No idea, but that means it's a 3-horse race now out in front. 2 laps to go. 2 miles left in the race here as they hit the back straightaway. Look at how far down the apron Laville tries to defend as Schwalbauer continues to try to fight the outside line. Coming around now for the final time in the race. Race is official. White flag's out. It's ending this lap no matter what happens.
P4.
Marshall Stanley trying to get the run down the inside line. Will he make the pass from lead? Will he block for his teammate? Lucas Laville continues to fight down at the apron. Marshall Stanley closing with the trap. Closing. Schwalbauer side by side on the outside line for second
P4.
place.
Okay, that's
Oh,
the finish.
yeah.
Well done, mate.
Stanley will not be able to get there in time. Lucas Laville will come over
33 seconds.
once again, a race winner, and he wins it here at Kansas. Marshall Stanley picks up second
Dang.
place, and Schwalbauer
That was a good
finishes
finish.
on the podium with Baird and Gerlicka having to settle for 4th and 5th behind him.
You want me to say it, Nolan? That was a joke.
Wow.
That was obvious blocking for the teammate.
What a
What's your
finish.
speed?
my goodness. Well,
nice.
it was
Lucas
a really,
LaVille.
yeah, it's Lucas LaVille. It was great racing from him.
Oh,
he
man.
deserves the win, but Stanley multiple times came out of the throttle there.
Box in, 5,
blocking.
4, 3.
Sometimes that's
2,
how teammates tend to go. That's team racing for you. Lucas LaVille burns it down on the front straightaway after taking a well-earned win here.
Thanks, guys, for joining in towards the end of that race.
To come and take the first position and victory after
I really appreciate everybody doing that.
Let's go to the post-race results. Lucas LaVille with the victory. His teammate
I was hoping for a podium, but
in
that's
third and fourth.
Good finish.
Mike Rolica is in the 5th position. Hans Pickett is in 6th. Jamie Wilson, the last car in the lead lap, in 7th. Leap Lambert, Don Day, and Stefan Rossman rounding out the top 10. In 11th, it is going to be Todd Novosad with Andrew Wood in 12th. Arvin Ewan in 13th. Rod Carpenter 14th. Andrew Adair Saunders in the 15th position, not finishing the race. You've got the rest
My
of the
armpits are sweating now.
Yes, and couldn't quite. I was actually looking at where were we just laying off? I was looking at a replay.
You got 16th on back.
16th on back. Cody Luke, unfortunate finish for him. Vessa 17th. Johnny Gary had a potentially
we'll catch you later.
Great run there. Finishes 18th. Logan Simmons, Robert Groscher in 20th. 10 more drivers to go, and Liam Quinn, Jan Hoffman, Paulie Partonen, Ethan Agan. He's going to be wanting this race back. Nate Michael, Andrew Aiken, Joshua Chin, Matt Molnar, Randy Shoemake, and Niall McBride, who I do not believe even took the green flag. 25.364, fastest lap by Mike Garlicka.
An absolutely unbelievable race, and the drivers started to trickle on in. So,
oh man,
start things off here with Andrew Adair Saunders, who unfortunately his race did not quite go the way it would have wanted to. Finishes off in 15th place, but 18 laps down. So
a little bit of adrenaline still going on from that.
Not quite the way you wanted to go out either, as you were in the lead. And well, what happened there under caution?
You can put that under wait a minute, I need to mute stuff in here.
Actually, what I ended up doing with mine is I added more wing, which towards the end there made it really bad in clean air. But in the draft, it was awesome. I was able to really fight for positions. I think Marshall there kind of chopped my nose off, but we'll see you in the post-race.
There still was a very hard-fought race for you all the way up to that point. And, of course, Twimmer Motegi coming up around as well. So what do you reckon the goal is going to be for you coming into that one?
Trying to replicate that kind of performance, but it was not entirely performance that brought me up to the lead, because I actually managed for the 3rd time in this league to stall the car in the pits. That put me into
is Andrew still on here?
At a very perfect time for me. I was so excited, and the rest is history. I'm still.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just curious what happened at the end for him.
Is going better than this one.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I mean, it's straight up. His wheel seemed like it turned left and then did not give him any input and drove him straight into the wall. So, I'm assuming it's going to be technical difficulty until further notice, I guess. But I'm sure Andrew will tell us when he recovers from that.
85dave.com, Open Wheels Dynamic Solutions. I hope I got all of them. And I know it's a bit unprofessional, but if anyone from you wants to see my reactions to what happened, I actually streamed that race on twitch.tv_Sandro Adair. I will put that stream into a CIS collection for everyone, and well, what else to say? Got it and again, twitch.tv_Sandro Adair for anyone who wants to see my reactions.
All right, well, thank you for joining us tonight, Andrew Adair Saunders, and best of luck next week, or in 2 weeks here at Motegi.
Thank you.
And we're going to have to continue to quickly move things on down the line here. Next one up here, Lucas LaVille, the race winner, bringing it home tonight after a very hard-fought win. Lucas, 22nd of first in a 200-lap race, and only just as well.
Only just indeed. Thank you. Yeah, patience was the key today for me, and the team as well. I think this is more win with the team rather than only myself.
Yeah, I'll probably do it.
I feel like I was always in an escort with 1 or 2 teammates at least around me all the time, so pretty much like cycling in a sprint.
So I gotta. Willie, are you going to? I think they're kind of expecting you to.
And when everybody had issues, was able to salvage the result for us.
Not really.
Team win.
But
I feel like
that's,
there was some
I think that
through
they.
the field, although I feel
Oh, come on.
stewards will have a lot of work. But yeah, it was an interesting day for sure.
And you're going to just continue to kind of move things on quickly here. This will definitely be good for you as you get set to kind of maybe launch stuff even further up towards the top of the boards. And with Ethan Hagen's unfortunate struggles earlier on, he is likely going to be no longer in the race lead. So do you intend on maybe defending your race lead coming into the next race?
Oh yeah, I love Mutegi. Awesome.
All right, guys, I'll catch y'all later.
And,